Welcome to the Prospect Podcast. I'm Coach Schumann. A lovely Tuesday today. I have, as always, Coach D with me to my left, and we have a great guest on today. We're going to talk some high school athletics, managing your overall athletic department, some football, and we're going to talk that with Coach Todd Fairlie, Athletic Director of Episcopal out in Newton Square, Pennsylvania. So we're going to really dive into some things here today that are really going to be interesting. Just kind of give a background on Coach. Coach really was a fantastic athlete himself at Widener University. He was a four-time All-American there, two in football and two in lacrosse. As a coach, he started coaching at Widener, both football and lacrosse. Went to Ursinus. In his past, he's directed camps for the Eagles and Next Sports. He's been very active within both football and lacrosse over the years. As a football coach at Episcopal for 10 years, he led them to 10-0 season in 2012 and 2019, 61-31 career record there, and is now the director of athletics. Starting, I think, in the 2021 COVID year, I think, right? Like, or slightly post COVID. Became the athletic director there, and Episcopal has, which we'll dive into, kind of a unique system athletically where they require athletes to play two sports. We'll dive into all of that today. But before that, welcome to the podcast, Coach. How's everything going?
Great. Looking forward to it. Thank you for having me.
It's going to be great to dive into this stuff. I touched on your journey. Obviously, yourself, you were a two-sport star in college, so you're not just somebody that is implementing something randomly. You did it yourself, so that's a really good component to start with. I'd love for you to kind of tell your journey within sports from time you were playing all the way till now taking over in athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. So go back even further in high school. Actually went to the public school that our current schools in the township we're at. We're a private school. The public one, and their AD does a great job, and I think he truly believes a lot of the same stuff. And I always kind of look past them when we're to other towns when we're looking for kids to come here, And I'm the biggest Marple Tigers fan outside of their department. I'm always following them. They do a great job. And Chris Kicking there does an awesome job. So, but that's where I grew up and played. And I actually played four sports there. Had success in football and lacrosse, but also played wrestled and played hockey, which was possible because hockey played at night. And me and my brother, we grew up, we never knew anything other than just playing everything you were in. And there was very little specialization back then. We were actually part of, like, I think one of the first lacrosse clubs in our area. And I always say we were on the first team of what is a huge lacrosse club now, but I don't know if it's actually the first team, but it was very small back then. And it was only like two lacrosse clubs in our whole area that we've ever heard of. And to be on one of them, now it's like there's two in every town or wherever.
Yeah.
But was undersized. I always tell people I wrestled 103 my freshman year of high school. And yeah, I reported to college after playing four sports. I wanted to play both. I would like to say that I had a lot of opportunities out there. I didn't. Bill Zwan and Jamie Steele at Widener are the coaches, and Bill Zwan was an amazing coach who just finished up at Westchester. He was the head coach there. They had a heck of a run, but it was two teams that were in the Division III NCAA tournament, which was really appealing to me because although I love my time at Marple, we never really had much success in terms of winning championships. And so to go to two programs where there's a chance to play for league championships and, but I reported, and when they sent me down the equipment check, pick up my equipment, the guy asked what team I was there for. Because I weighed 145 pounds. And I was like, I didn't think the soccer guys were getting pads today, right? Like, I'm here, for football. And so Widener was a great experience. I played football and lacrosse, enjoyed that. Grew into a little bit. When I got done, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, except I wanted to play or continue. Never been not part of a team, so I wanted to stick with it. Decided to go back then you could get a redshirt year in D3 if you were injured or didn't really
play
participation. So I was granted a 5th year, so I entered into grad school because I had a good idea that I was probably going to be a GA there. So I did a 5th year for football, played, and then started immediately being a grad assistant. That spring, I actually was picked up to be to try out for a professional lacrosse team, which was in San Francisco. And I actually made the MLL, the team that used to play what was the MLL. I don't think that exists right now. I'm a terrible lacrosse fan in terms of knowledge of everything going on, but played out there, came back with GA in the fall. Then I played in the NLL, which the Wings play in. And so I did the indoor for a year, lived down in California, came back, was GA in football, playing professional lacrosse to kind of make ends meet. And it was a cool experience, but then tried to figure out exactly what I want to do. So I did 2 seasons of being a GA for football, played 2 seasons of professional lacrosse, really 3 over 2 years. The economy went to crap in 2008, and 4 of the teams folded in the league in like a 10-team league, my team being one of them, and it kind of everybody broke off. And I had some other opportunities, but it kind of gave me a chance, like, I better find something permanent. Right. And so I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. There was a lot of lacrosse programs popping up in like smaller colleges. So there's an opportunity there, obviously, with a good success there to like jump in and maybe be a head coach at a young age, Division III, if I wanted to. But I really always loved football. Football was like the first thing I ever did. I grew up right across the street from where the township played, and I always considered myself a football player. And so my next kind of move was like, I think football needs to be part of it. And I didn't want to really get into anything that it wouldn't be part of it. So
smart.
As a player, I wasn't really thinking too much about it, but then had an opportunity. Episcopal Academy had just built this campus out in my hometown. They moved campuses from right on the Philadelphia boundary. Moved out here. I was home at one point. Said, "What's that going on over there?" And so, long story short, they needed somebody to be a building sub and coach like all 3 seasons, and football obviously part of it. And
sure,
they said they had free lunch. They had free lunch and benefits, and so I basically entered as like an intern. I love coaching at this level, but wasn't really sure if it could make a career out of it because I wasn't sure if I wanted to teach. I was an athletic intern for a year. And then at the age of 25, before we hit Christmas break, I actually was hired as the head football coach and didn't know what I didn't know. But that was 2011 was my first year, and we weren't very good, but we probably played hard. And then 2012, we went undefeated and had a heck of a run. And then from there, I've been in different roles as an athletic, assistant AD. You mentioned I coached lacrosse here for a while, but then stepped away when football kind of got, intense from that level. I helped at different levels there, but then became the AD in 2020. Been the athletic director entered right start of COVID basically, and remained the head football coach, and just finished off our 3rd really successful Interact Championship season this past year. So it's been a heck of a run of I guess going on 16 years as a head coach. And I got to update that bio wherever you found that there. But it's great. And then, so that's what takes me here. So live real close to campus here and still love coaching football.
No doubt. Talk about the transition from being a coach to athletic director. What were some things that changed for you? What were some of the things that stayed the same?
Yep. So, I saw it as a good opportunity, and, it was never really I was kind of focused on my job. I don't really, it wasn't like my focus to be the next AD here. The news that the AD was retiring before me, she was awesome and, really important to me as my development was stepping away. It was kind of news. You knew it was coming at some time, but surprising. And then,
but when it comes, you never expected it.
Yeah. So reflecting on it, I was in the middle of the season because she did in the fall. I was like, it was 2019 season. We were in. I was like, let's just get through the season, then I'll think about this. And ends up being a great season. And I decided to kind of go through it. And one of the hardest things I think would be like, and I had done this before because when I was a player and then went to be a GA, I had to coach my friends.
Yeah, that's tough.
I was coaching like my roommates for lacrosse, I was coaching them.
Yeah.
And so now my peers to be in charge, but I think that staying as the coach really helped that because we're battles together. The same kind of things we're dealing with goes from sport to sport. You just maybe package the problem a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, I was a little concerned about being able to keep up with the workload. I think, Derek, you saw me speak. Like I really like to be detailed and
oh, no doubt.
Structure and everything we do in football. And I always said like there will never be a lapse in that. I think we're here to support the kids and present something for them, every day that they are, that's productive and gives them optimism towards whatever it's a game or whatever it is. So I saw it as a unique opportunity, maybe spread that out and see how I can maybe, I always said that we would try to set the standard for a football program on campus as to the way we kind of acted, the way we engage the community, different things like this. And football gets a lot of attention no matter what, but like, can I spread that out and help other kids have that same experience? And so to do that, the hardest part was getting the right pieces and making sure my staffs were aligned from the athletic side of things.
Yep.
And then the football side of things, so that delegation was really important, and then having great people. And I've been blessed to have the best people, I could ask for to be, to do this with me. And they call me like in the athletic office, like football Todd, those months, like a little bit different to deal with.
Right.
And,
totally understandable.
Yeah. And then in November, they get me back. And then I think
on both ends though,
by January, they want me back in football mode because
right.
I'm driving them nuts. So
yeah. No. And I think that's actually like a really great, like a perfect transition to where I was going to go. I was going to ask, in making that move, right, becoming the athletic director, but still being the head coach of a sport, right? Like, is there that, well, they always get everything, or that's just kind of the way, right? Like, how did you deal with that? Because that happens no matter what.
That's a great question. And that's been at the forefront of my mind all the time. And so, I mean, by nature, football is going to get the most attention.
Right.
And so very intentional to make sure that we are doing what we can to support, be very intentional about support for other programs and requiring attendance to other games from our kids or whatever it is. And I think that,
I think you mentioned that too. I thought that was awesome too.
Yeah.
Like the kids from other sports have to go.
Spread out, I need to be intentional about it, but I'd probably do a better job to make sure every coach knows they have what they need. Because when I was an assistant AD, I always felt like I'd really like to have this thing, but I don't know if she'll say yes. So I'm just going to sit on this. And I could probably do a better job, but I think just the best thing I can do is show up and support them. I mean, I'm very intentional to be at games
absolutely
as much as I can, and
be visible. Like that is just
visible.
The main thing. As an assistant
coach,
that's what I look for. You know what I mean? Not to cut you off.
No,
look, you've been around some good ADs.
Right. Like, we have nice stuff, but like I try to make sure everybody else has nice stuff. But like we also. Football's a different deal. You play once a week, there's more that goes into it, but
practice a lot more than you play. You know what I mean? Like
at the end of the day, we want to make sure our kids are setting a standard on campus that, people won't say they're not spoiled because the AD is the coach. And if they do feel that way, my assistants in our office will make sure to humble me down real quick because it's intentional. And, in terms of stuff like that, but, we want to fight the narrative. We always talk about that. Like there's a couple narratives in football you fight is like the kids are meatheads. We're constantly, trying to prove to everybody how much of gentlemen we are, right? And doing right on campus. And then the other narrative is like football football needs more stuff, just pads and things like that and more time and
costs more money. Just costs more money.
But at the end of the day,
David and I talk about it. It's like, hey, this isn't, a pair of shorts, sneakers, and a t-shirt and go play. You know what I mean? Like this is a lot of equipment that goes into it. So it's the optics of it are always going to be that. It's also always roster wise the biggest on campus. Usually they're usually the biggest players, like just walking around, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just, they stand out. So they're always going to.
So when they stand out in positive ways, that narrative goes away. And I think that's
right.
We got great kids and great leaders in the school. And
there's no doubt.
And then the other part of this, we don't like to say my main sport here because of the dual sport thing so important to us, or tri-sport if it's the right kid, right? But they're not football kids. They play football, right? And they're not lacrosse kids, and they're not basketball. They play that sport, and so they're not. It's not siloed into this where they say, those kids get this, and it's just like we hope they all, And I'll tell you, we got great coaches who advocate for their kids, and the kids are really lucky to play for those other coaches in these other seasons. So, and our girls teams have tons of success, which is another thing.
That's exciting.
They do unbelievable, and we've got great coach on that end. So it's a really well balanced thing, and there's a lot better coaches here than me because they've had more they have more success than we do. And so it's a nice balance here, and I hope that they feel I'm their biggest fan. Even though sometimes you got to jump in and have some tough conversations, but at the end of the day, everybody's happier when everybody's having success.
No doubt about it. I'd love for you to talk about kind of the two-sport philosophy, how you enforce it, and how do you get the buy-in, from them to do it. So maybe you don't have to enforce it, right? So you get the buy-in. We'll talk about that part and the general philosophy there and how you kind of implemented that.
You said it, man. If the kids buy in, then it's not enforcing it. It's like, and I think that, so a couple things come to mind. And I'll give you the backstory in a second, but I don't want to lose this thought. If the coach creates a great experience for the kid, they're either really sad to go when they graduate or they can't wait to come back. And so at the end of the day, a lot of coaches will complain about kids not coming out for the sport, focus on something else. But if you have a chance to have that kid as a freshman or sophomore and they don't come back, there is some reflection needs to happen because it is hard. It is hard to create a really rewarding, productive experience for freshmen, at certain sports, and, making sure that they have the proper attention and the right coaching and the right energy and showing them a path of like success where there's optimism. So it's not easy. But to give you a little backstory, again, our school is unique, and the private schools, especially in our area, it's not unique for there to be a participation requirement, sports requirement, whatever you want to call it. We don't have physical education in the middle and upper schools. So starting in 6th grade and through your athletic participation is basically
phys ed.
Yeah, in terms of the physical participation. So that really allows us to require. However, a lot of schools really pulled back participation because of COVID, because there's so many issues with it. And I feel like they had a hard time putting it back. And we kind of really, I think, just pushed through in a lot of ways. And there was, when I took over, I was really firm on a couple things that I thought we had to do to keep it moving in the right direction and maybe just be the best version of ourselves. And again, it was just a new opportunity to say like, hey, here's a couple things I think we should do. And school administration was on board and we work really well with them. At the end of the day, we want to provide a great experience for the kids they're excited to come to. And then how do we balance that with, like, realistically, our top soccer kid will play in a soccer club outside of school, or a top lacrosse kid. So like, how do you make it manageable? But, basically when the kids come, they have to play 2 team sports. Now, we've also adapted some things to be mindful of the kids who maybe are into the school play or other things like that, where it is a heck of a physical part of it, teamwork oriented thing. And so we work with them. But at the end of the day, you're going to play on 2 sports. And then your 3rd season would be either another sport, which would be great, or you're in the weight room with our strength staff and doing a fitness track, which could be, for the football guys, it looks a lot different than maybe a tennis kid, but they're going to tailor that. And we're well supported there with the strength staff to do that. So it's really important for the first couple of years to make sure we get out on the, and as they get older, they get some more flexibility on that. But like, just talking about my football team, and I think the buy-in, like, as the season starts to wind down and winter sports are teeing up, like, we always have the wrestling coach come in and present the benefits of wrestling for a football player, right? Awesome. In a team meeting. And he coached against me in high school. So he always tells a story about his guy. His guy was like jacked up and beat me up pretty good, but he'll throw that in there, but he uses it as, and so it's like hypercritical. So I was like, guys, I did this. And so we really push that for our big kids or anybody who's not really a hooper. And then we'll have our track. We have a great track coach. Funny enough, we GA'd together at Widener together. Now he's an awesome outdoor track coach, and we've won 3 of the last 4 indoor state championships in Pennsylvania, which is all schools, all level, any size, public, private, Catholic, you name it.
Wow.
And we've been great on the outside. We've won the private state championships, the league championships the last 4 years. He does an amazing job. So he speaks to them about winter track. And we really don't have to do that with basketball. We maybe will, because plenty of kids want to play. But if you're not like a hooper, here's a couple options for you, because we want the kids engaged. And then in the spring's easy. We do so well with lacrosse kids here. Some of our best players are always lacrosse kids. And that held true this year. And that's why we had a ton of success. Great baseball kids. And then our track team, again, is awesome. And so if you're an athlete, you're sprinting here. If you're a big kid, you're throwing here. And there's that buy-in. So our roster coming back next year, we got one kid not on a spring roster. One kid not on a spring roster, and he plays basketball. And
so he's probably doing God knows what AAU wise or traveling or doing all that.
He's actually our quarterback, and so he's throwing, he's doing some other stuff.
Good for him.
7-on-7 stuff, and I think that it's a buy-in thing, and I think as the kids mature, they grow into it. We have some freshmen who.
I was gonna say, I think it has to. You kind of got to look at the kids sometimes too, right, and understand, like, you know what, he's okay, he'll be okay, because he's doing the right stuff.
I think this is so important to our athletic mission and our success. So I want to be the model of the program that gets the most buy-in, right? So I can say we can do it and have success. And I'll tell you quickly, like, I think we're hitting a peak here with our success. Last spring, our athletic teams play in 8 of them compete for a league championship in our league, and we won 7 league championships. This past fall, we had 6 league champs in the fall. Our lacrosse team today just got ranked number 1 in the country on the boys' side. Our girls team last spring was ranked number 2. They were undefeated. They never played against the 1, but they were unbelievable. So we're able to layer it. We just shared a stat. In 2 calendar years, we have 4 different teams have beaten a number 1 nationally ranked program in 4 different sports in just 2 calendar years. And it's a lot of kids crossing over. And so that buy-in is really important. And I think the coaches here who come in new and think maybe their sport will be a little bit different, and they can kind of eventually they'll see, like, this is the way it works, because we're a small school. 280 boys, a few less girls. You better get the most out of kids, and you better be able to find ways to work with them. And we talked about, Derek, our summer program's got to look different if we want that buy-in.
No doubt.
Right. And, and then, just get that kid excited for that sport. Like, you deal with the 7-on-7 world where, like, kids want to miss like a track meet or something for that. And you're like, listen.
See, that's where we're so different.
I like how you
treat it so different. Like,
I like how
it should be the other way. Like, go to your track meet, miss this. You know what I mean?
Win a race. Go win a race. And if you're excited for that, like, that stuff will come. And the training stuff that goes on, like, there is a lot of good stuff out there, but kids want to miss like a weekend thing because they have this training. I'm like, dude, you got a chance to wrestle a match. Like,
go compete. College coach is going to ask us about track times at a meet more so than he's going to ask for your 7-on-7 tape.
I mean, our league, I think it's unique, but we laser time every meet. If you run a fast time, that translates, and that is recruitable, and that has gotten kids plenty of opportunities. If you're a really good wrestler, they'll show up. They can't even go recruit the other stuff, and so it's all about process. And
that's a big point. They cannot go to the 7-on-7 tournaments. It's different than basketball in the summer when they can go to AAU, like when they can start to go to AAU showcases and stuff like that, or the spring recruitable time period where they can go to those things. They can't in football. You can't go.
So we'll have the guys come through in the spring, and they'll say, "Hey, let's go watch the kid practice lacrosse or
work out." Right.
Ryan Day, I always say Ryan Day.
You can put together workouts, right? Like, but this is not like
Ryan Day came into my office. This was back when he was at Temple way before that. But we were like, I was like, man, that's interesting. He just stopped by and he's like, let's go take a look at your kid. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to go see his track meet. And then I I had forgotten that the fastest kid in the league was running track that day on our track, and that kid ended up playing in the NFL for like 8 years, and he wasn't there to recruit my kid. He was like, I'm going to go watch this kid run the 100. And sure enough, yeah, but it's really, I'll tell you what, you throw shot put, you get that 50, coach goes, whoa, man, that kid's different.
Just talking numbers.
Yeah.
It's legit. It's something that
that's what it is. That's what it is. It's numbers.
Baseball, it's hard.
Baseball
is a different world. Baseball is like,
I heard one of the
different.
I think it was one of the Penn State coaches talk about that if I'm going to recruit you as a skill athlete, he's like, I want to see your track times. If I'm going to recruit you in a different sport, maybe it's lacrosse or baseball, you need to be one of the very best, because I'll know that you're a great athlete and you're still recruitable as a skill. So, obviously for football coaches, it's super easy. Measurements are super easy. Like, that tells me what the pure athleticism is. And it's funny because before the transfer portal became big, okay, I think a lot of the showcase and combine times mattered, but now with the transfer portal, and they could just go get another athlete from their school, now those times don't really even matter. They need to know that you have an elite time, and that's where track, race, or throw
or weight
shows
room.
that you're an outlier.
Right.
How many times are kids missing weight room to go do training? And I understand that, like, there is a pace, but like, there's all these trainers that pop up. But at the end of the day, if you can film yourself benching and moving the weight, that's translate. Like you hit it. They got to see potential and base those numbers off of something. I think it's more, I think that if the high school recruiting has really changed, and it's tough for these kids, and the transfers there are places that, they're going to live out of the portal and they're going to recruit men over 18-year-old high school kids. So it's really hard. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, like, what maximizes your time to get that best advantage? Because it is, it's a different 10 years ago. 5 years ago, it's completely different.
Yeah. And like, on the flip side of it, like, if you're like which is also a shift in these other sports, like lacrosse and baseball. Okay. If you're an excellent football player, and now you also are a star lacrosse player, they want to know that, or a baseball player. They want to know that because there's similar aspects to it. They want to know that you're a fantastic athlete, right? Because what they're inundated with today, because of training is so prevalent, to me, they're inundated with a lot of kids that are skilled, but don't have the athleticism to play at the higher levels, right? And I'm not just talking Division I, I'm talking even Division III, right? So they want to know that you're beyond the skill portion of it. The skill portion, there's a certain amount that's expected, but if you walk in the door and you're as a lacrosse player and you're 6'1" and you're a great athlete and you're a great football player, and they could see that on film football wise, they come over to play lacrosse and they're really good at lacrosse, then they know, okay, this guy's a great athlete. Like, he's not just a super skilled kid that when he comes to my school, he's not going to have any upside, right? That upside's a big deal.
That's exactly right. If a kid spends all his time, he's really technical, he does all the training, and he's really winning because he's very technical, they get there. They can't change that athlete that much. They can put on some weight, they can do some explosion stuff. You'd rather have a kid who's got a huge – they'll coach him up. They'll teach the technique. But if that kid is the freak athlete in the group, they're going to win with that kid, at the end of the day. And so that's the balance. I mean, the other thing I always tell people at the end of the day, it's probably better than them being on their phone, right? Like all this stuff.
Oh, no doubt.
All the stuff they're doing. But I think that time, energy, and resources are limited for a lot of families we coach, especially, if you're in football, like, people only have so much time, energy, money, and so what's the most productive time, the use of it? And as you kind of go through the process, like, are you focused on the right things? Because at the end of the day, be a good student, work hard in the weight room, be a good teammate, do something. And that's the other thing we talk about all the time is, like, kids want success right away. It's really hard for them to live in a world where they don't get success because it's all about likes and all that stuff. And the importance of being a role player. And I think about this all the time because, as I mentioned to you, I was just down at the University of Georgia, and they just brought in 26 new freshmen for the spring season, right?
Right, for the spring.
Spring. And those guys early enters for next year, but they got to go basically now. And all those kids were probably the best kid in their league.
No doubt.
And now they're not even getting reps on the same field as where the head coach is.
Yep.
And how important it is for that kid to be grounded through experience. And so when you are a sophomore, when we grew up, you weren't supposed to play. You were supposed to be JV. And
now it's an expectation of you're the starter from the time you walk in the door.
I'm going to go do something else. And so if you are a sophomore and you are not playing varsity basketball, good. Because when you go to college, no matter how good of a football player you are, you're not playing. And when and that's the biggest issue with youth sports, that one of them is that now everything is designed by your age. So when you're 12, you play 12-year-old, you play 13, you play 14. When I grew up, you got humbled every other year.
Every other year, because fifth
and then you were not anointed
seventh and eighth.
You were an anointed position. So now
they're going to go get it.
And they're just handed this. So they get the sophomore year and they're like, hey, you're not the second baseman, or, and I'm just using it, whatever. You're not the right tackle. What the senior is. And he's a different person than you right now. And I think that's really hard for kids to understand, especially when at our school, a small school, we will have sophomores who have a lot of success, because that's one thing a smaller school presents is opportunity for younger kids. But that doesn't mean that kid, at the end of the day, is going to be on the same trajectory as the kid who's not playing right now. It might be position based. It might be developed later.
Yep.
But the family, we call it the return of the investment. They've invested so much, and private equity is buying up all these events, and so they invest so much. So if they don't start, there's this anxiety that builds up, and the kids feel it. And so being a good teammate and being humbled in another sport that maybe you're not great at, or running a race and not coming in first, it's like, it's coming, because if you want to play at the highest level, you're not walking in and playing. That's not the goal. Yeah. Every coach in America, I don't care what level you are, the goal is not to play rookies or freshmen. The goal is to play developed.
Well, I always tell the young guys, right? I said, look, if you go to college and you're playing as a freshman, you're either something very, very different, or your team's not very good, right? So either one, it's a polar opposite in the extremes. And you're 100% correct. It's the hardest thing to try and prepare the high school guys that are going to play at that next level, irregardless of what level it is. FBS, FCS, Division 2, 3, NAI, whatever it is. Everybody you're around was the best player in their town or the best player at their school. They were all conference, just like you were, right? They had all these accolades or whatever. And now you're going to go in and you are now just like, you're a cone, right? Yeah. You're a cone. Like, so get used to it.
Those guys have had 3 years of development that you haven't had. And I think that, freshmen that can play at a championship level at any age are really rare. And,
it used to be, right, when you went in and look, if you weren't there, it was like, hey, you just make the travel squad, right? Get on the bus. That's your goal, right? But now with the way things have shifted, so like when freshmen, if you're not a freshman that's going in the spring, or you're not on campus the second you graduate high school for all of those summer workouts or whatever, fall camp for you is really just, holy shit, this is a totally different world. Like, screw learning the playbook or any of that kind of stuff. Like, you're trying to adjust to life in college as like, I got to wake up and do my laundry and eat and do all of these scheduling things that you now have to do. Like, the football part of it is going to be
looking at those freshmen down there, like, you could say, hey, we're going to college early, it's going to be awesome. I was like, those guys are going to work. Like,
now they're getting paid to do it, right? Like, but it's like, when do you have to go back to prom?
By being paid, it wasn't like going to college when I went to college. We had more fun. We were free to do.
We talk about it all the time, right? Because Coach Schumann went to UConn, right? So it's to say, it's just different. Like, guys don't understand how much of a job without it being, you know what I mean? Now, like, you're getting your scholarship, but now these guys are getting on top of their scholarship, which now now you have to really do what I'm telling you to do, right? Like it's professional football is what it is.
It
And
really
just
is.
the time, regardless of what level it is, it's just a matter of how many bells and whistles you have. Every bit of it is more than you've
Division
ever
one level,
experienced.
At the Division one level, it's definitely professional. There's no doubt.
Well, even at the Division III, I think setting kids up in high school with
absolutely, you can put them ahead of the 8 ball.
Setting them up with the understanding is like kids are like, I'll just go D3 and I'll probably play earlier. Well, there's some good kids there, and that's not fair. And so if the first time they're really dealing with that resilience factor or that is, then it's going to be really hard for them because they're away from home, they're away from their friends, they're away from their coaches who they have relationships with. They don't really know those guys that well.
Nope.
And I think that the multi-sport thing can be so important to kids' development from the athletic side, the skill side, but I think just
it's fun too. It's fun.
The best.
We've talked about that, right? Like, hey, football season ends. Like, now you go to basketball. Like that.
I was a football guy.
You were juiced,
right? But when it was over, I was ready to go to the next sport in high school. I was ready to go to track season. Like, it was a different challenge. Okay, now obviously track helps football in a lot of ways from a development standpoint, but I just like the different type of competition. You know what I mean? And then when I was young, I did four or five sports, but in high school I did football and track, and I just liked the fact that it was a different competition. I was a hurdler, so I enjoyed the fact that I was gonna do something different, even though like I knew because I had offers for track in college. And I would just be like, no, I'm playing football. Like, so I was going to go to football, even if I had higher offers for track, which I did have some really high level offers for track. So it was just, to me, football was my main sport. But I loved going into track season because it was a different type of competition. To me, it was like, it always reminded me, it was like when I was a youth athlete. It would go from football, then I would wrestle, then I would do baseball and track, and you know what I mean? So it was like it still gave me a bit of that in high school, even though obviously competition level is higher, but I enjoyed that. And I thought I think that people are missing, like when they go back and they think about the overall enjoyment of their sports experience. Like, I love college football. I played college football. I started. It was great. As exciting as it was, and a lot of these guys are my friends for life, as exciting as it was, and I have much more friends from college that I played ball with that I stay in touch with, that I do from high school. Okay. But I still love like the high school experience better in the sense that I got to play 2 sports. And the truth was, I probably should have wrestled too, right? My father was a track coach, so I ended up running track in the winter and spring. But I think back, and that's like, I really enjoyed that. You could never do that in most 99% of cases. Once you go to college, you're never going to have that opportunity because it really is, even at the Division III level, those guys are playing one sport too. So that's
amazing to me how many D3 coaches aren't open to their kids playing 2 sports. And I'm like, they're paying you to be there, so you should let them do whatever they want to do. But the difference is, and I think that the stresses that come with college and the job security is so slim because you have to win, or the expectations are different. But at our job, I challenge all of our coaches, my assistants, but all the sports. The goal is that the best part of the kid's day is when they're with you.
100%.
And if you're doing that, you're going to retain more kids. You're going to get more kids involved. You're probably going to have more success. They're having fun. And at the end of the day, if you don't win the championship, but those kids can leave an experience that they love, that's tremendous. But if the best part of their day, they look forward to it. And the best kids, or not the best kids, but the most fun we have, and some of the kids that are great to coach, are the ones that are already comfortable, committed in another sport. So football for them is just fun. And this year we had a great year. And I think we had 8 seniors committed to play another sport in college.
Yeah. I think that was the stat that you mentioned.
Yeah, when I heard you say 8, it may be 7, 8, but and so football for them was like our last chance to do it right and to enjoy the whole school watching them and community. And those kids, at the end of the day, they're not stressed about the results of like statistics and stuff. They're just like, I'm here, and they're the most. We had a very selfless team across the board, and the guys who were playing football were equally as bought in. But it helps create this dynamic of buy-in, and like you could ask a kid to maybe take a role that'd be a little different, and when they have other aspirations in their sport, maybe that on top of it, they're more likely to do that. And at the end of the day, you want relaxed kids. You don't want angst up.
Yeah, you don't want tight.
Wound up
It
kids.
doesn't mean you're not holding them accountable for
no, but
so
they're
that's
not.
the important thing. Some people think fun means just running around. Like fun means
winning is fun.
You get
to just play loose.
Winning,
playing, you're
fun.
playing, but you're held accountable. Like coaches have expectations of you, but the fun part is that yes, when it's not quote unquote your number one sport, you really can play. Look, everybody, like obviously competitors, no matter whether it wasn't my main sport or not, like I was super intense. I wanted to win, you know what I mean? But you could enjoy, you could have a certain level of relaxation, knowing that not everything in your whole entire career was held to this other sport. You have a sport that you might hold yourself accountable for that. And the other sport is, you're working super hard, you're giving everything you have, you're a great teammate, and you're getting coached hard, but you at the end of the day, like you could just go out and play this because you may not be able to play this again in a year, ever again.
You're not relying on that senior huddle film to pave the way for you. So
right.
A little bit
and
more
mom and dad aren't on you all the time as to, hey, you got to make sure you're doing this, or make sure coach is getting you the ball, or whatever that kind of shit.
A lot of times kids might bring some expectations that are unfair to them, and they're not the expectations they have. It's what other people have. Just because, I mean, if you think about being a parent and all this, and the landscape has changed so much that trying to keep up with it from their end, the anxiety and the stresses they're, going through, and education on that part of it's really important, but there's still going to be, it's their kid. They might think it's different, or they might think they have to do this. I think fear of missing out from the parent side of things is one of the biggest problems, is they feel like they have to send their kids all over the place. And I think burnout's a real problem in some sports that have really capitalized off the opportunity of events that could be endless.
That's why multi-sport is so important. Like it's as a kid, you know what? Like to me, like the spring is always craziest for youth athletes because every sport has their stuff in the spring, because especially in the Northeast, because the weather's so nice. To me, it's just like, wow, you could play flag football on a Saturday. On Sunday, you could play a baseball game. On Tuesday, you could have a track meet. Like, what is better than that as a kid? To me, that's the old school, playing in the yard here one day, doing this, and it's changed where they don't do that as much now. But that's what it is to me. It's like, holy cow, how cool is that you can go and play this sport? And the truth is that all these sports kind of like feed into each other, and they balance out your body. And like I've noticed, I'm not advocating this, because I know parents get upset when you don't practice too much. But if you're playing multiple sports, so like let's say in the spring you're playing flag football one day, and then the next day you're playing soccer, and the next day, a game, and next day you have a baseball game, or 2 days later you have a baseball game. I actually think those things make you all better in each one of your sports without even practicing, because people don't realize they're actually practicing. So you're practicing movement, right? So different movements in each sport. Now, I understand in like baseball or lacrosse, right? There are some skill sets that, require practice, obviously, to get to be better, because if you don't, it's going to be harder. But there's a certain element, at least athletically, that you don't have to worry about working on. You might still have to obviously field some ground balls and take some batting swings, obviously, to help you. Or lacrosse, you got to do some stuff with your stick, right, to be able to make sure those skills are good. But the movement stuff starts to get taken care of for you because you're doing these sports, in the spring. And as opposed to like when someone says you got to go training. Now, strength training is a different thing, because obviously it can't be as replicated in all the movement stuff. But why do you got to go? This is just my thought process. Like, if you're playing all those sports as a youth kid, you don't have to go and do some sort of movement training during the week. If you want to do something balance-wise, maybe something to improve your strength or explosion, okay, I can understand that. But you don't have to worry about the movement piece because you're doing all these sports. That's what all these sports are doing. You're moving back and forth. And I've noticed that these kids, when they do that, like my son and his friends, the ones that are playing all these sports and don't even really worry that much about like practicing excessively, they're good at all the sports. They are. And then all of a sudden I'll see them like going, oh, you know what? I'm gonna like focus a little more on basketball. Like I'm gonna go to some basketball. And like in 2 weeks, they're all of a sudden a better basketball player because they've been doing all this stuff. It doesn't take them a long time to pick up a skill, right? It doesn't mean that they're going to be elite at it right away, but they're going to pick up a skill much quicker because they understand the movement piece. Moving becomes natural to them, much like it might have been for us when we go back and play tackle football in the yard or in the street or play baseball on our own with our friends or lacrosse and and you just went and did it, right? So I think that's a big part of it. And I thought your point was really, really great about that's changed. Everything's age group based. And I really didn't get a chance to realize it until my son goes to Catholic school and they have I said this yesterday, 5th, 6th grade, you have to make the team for basketball in 5th, 6th grade baseball. And the basketball team had like kind of like a seniority thing. And he, done really well in his age all these years. And now he was a 5th grader on a 5th and 6th team. Now he made it, right? But he was a sub, right?
Yeah.
So he had to learn how to handle being a teammate, how to do what the coaches expect of you. They coached it, I say, like, you would coach like a high school team, not maybe like a
Catholic basketball in our area. My daughter went through the same thing. I said, these kids slapped in the face, like, no, not everybody plays, and not everybody plays equal amount. 5th and 6th grade, and I was like, this is interesting. And then I was like, oh, everybody does it this way, and to me, I'm like, because we have 6.
Got to learn it,
and it's just like, and my daughter went through the same thing, and I'm like, it's coming. So it's interesting it happens, and I think in some ways, it's a life lesson. Like you got
great.
I just said to her, like, if you love, like whatever you love, whatever you want to do. She wrestled, she played basketball this winter, like she does it all. I said, at some point, when you decide what you want to do, you really got to work at it, or don't complain about not playing. Because now I think it hit her maybe, and she actually she took it great. She was a great teammate and she loved going. And the credit to the coaches for creating a great environment they wanted to be at. But I was like, I got to drive 30 minutes and I don't know if she's going to get in.
Right.
Yeah. And that was like new. It didn't bother me as much as.
It's you a lot as a parent too, I thought.
Well, because it's not about
you. Really
right?
Enjoy
like,
the
it's
team.
Not about me. Not about me. I'm just
Right.
thinking like, I hope this is the only thing that I struggle with the most. My goal for, I tell all the middle school coaches here, like the goal is that they come back next year.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Retention.
So my fear was that, listen, my family, we're not, we were never basketball players. Me and my brother wrestlers, we're limited in height, whatever you want to say. I don't see her having a great future at basketball, but if she loves it, I hope she does it.
Hope she does it as long as she can.
As long as she can. I think basketball is an amazing sport, and it teaches you a lot of things in terms of skill development and hustle. And, I show her, I'm like, listen, the Fairleys are never going to put up 20 in a game. I send her Dennis Rodman highlights, and I make her watch it. And she's like, who's this? I'm like, we are going to rebound and defend if we do anything. Stop shooting. And she's like, Dad, I like shooting threes, and completely different.
Who doesn't?
So my biggest concern was that she wouldn't want to come back and play next year, which, again, credit to the experience. I think she was excited about. The team had success, and I think that was very important to her. And so, but like, that's not youth sports. And there are
no, it's not.
So the funniest thing, the 7th, 8th grade teams, they don't have a lot of B teams because a lot of kids
quit. They don't want to do it. But
and
I think that's also
that's not like what's our goal.
It's not even so much a kid thing too. It's more on the parent side of it to when you are that 5th grader on the 5th and 6th grade team to support hey, This isn't your year. You're there to help everybody else. Yeah, we want you to get better and improve. And when you get your opportunities, maximize it and go. But you're creating something for the future. Don't sit here and pout because you're not playing, right? Be a role guy, go and learn and go and play.
The other thing, and even if you're that sixth grader not seeing what you want, like I use this all the time because I think it's so true. Because you all grew up with the kid who like was the best middle school kid, and then but like people mistake maturity for skill at that age.
Correct.
Absolutely, all the time. It's the hardest piece of it to figure out. Is this kid good, or did he just hit puberties first?
That kid's so good, and it's like, well, that kid also might be, be done. And so I think for kids to just say, like, everybody's got their own path, everybody peaks at different times.
Yeah.
And I would just say, if you like it, keep doing it. And if your kid's not practicing on their own, now if they still want to go and they're okay with it, but like if those types of things, like I just think our jobs as adults, everything we do should be about the kids. Is like, let's keep the kids in the sport as long as we can. At the end of the day, we all know if they're isolated, if they're not around team mates, if they're not around good people, if they're not around interest, and after school they're isolated,
the opportunity for bad things can just
mental health goes through the roof. And I think that participation is so important. That if it's a manager, if it's just being part of JV, if it's whatever it is, at the end of the day, if you're away from your phone and it's either really hard or it's fun, you're better for it. And I think that if it's really hard, you're going to say, I might not love it, but I'm a better, more physical person or whatever it is from it. If it was just fun, well, how important is that you had fun without being connected to a device, which I think is something that the kids need to learn and grow on. So that's my biggest thing about that age is like the goal. And literally when you're watching, like the same kids are in the outfield the entire game. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I wish someone would ask me, my thought would be that kid might never come back if all he ever knows is right field, right? And the goal is, who cares if the in-house league, you don't win the championship. But if
that's all I care about.
And I'll tell you, one of the best moments I ever had, my daughter plays baseball league. There was a kid, he didn't get a hit till like the 11th game of the year. But when he did, the parents' reaction and the kids' reaction, it almost like it moved me so much because I said, this is what we're doing. And I was so thankful for that coach that was so positive with that kid that I was so
keep him in it enough.
The only job that coach had was to make sure that kid came back next year because socially he would be better, and when he showed up the next year, I was like, man, that coach, he's a hero because there's too many people that would say like, I'm just going to shove him over here. And like, the goal is that kid, because that kid who cares if he doesn't ever plays baseball? But if that kid makes a friend or, is excited about something else that it leads to, I think participation is so important, and specialization is in doing more actually takes away opportunities for our kids to really be involved and have those experiences. And
it is tough because the youth sport ends up obviously feeding, like, let's say into, your school and you're looking for larger participation because you don't know what kids are really going to be and being the better kids. Because that changes with puberty dramatically. It happened to me. It happens to a lot of people, right? Like you're a pretty good athlete, and then some people just get some juices and it works pretty positively for you. And if you work, you still have to work hard, but if you work hard combined with that, you can really do some great things, right? So, but what is difficult, and I'm curious your thoughts on this because you talked about like bringing them back and all those kind of things. And me and Derek talk about this a lot because it's a difficult conversation in youth sports. And the difficult conversation is, because every kid plays youth sports. How do you help them figure out where they can fit in as an athlete, right? So there becomes a point where if I'm really not that good at this sport, okay, but I'm going to use bowling as an example, not making fun of bowling, but I'm saying like if my kid really just isn't super like athletic, right, and he wants to play baseball, and he just struggles hitting. He loves baseball, and he plays. And it comes to a point where like he's never gonna like make a team baseball wise.
Yeah.
Would
So
we be better off at some point? And he loves sports. Let's say it's a kid who just loves sports, but he's just not that good. It's happened to a friend of mine, and his kids actually found their way from this.
I
But it
think
was
I know
hard.
where you're heading. So the couple things going on. One, we as adults, we should not attach success to results at that age, at any age, really. Like until
Right.
it's, they're outside, like their value as a person should not be tied to their results as an athlete. And the
Right.
first thing people ask kids after like a soccer, did you score? Or basketball, did you score? And it
Right.
should be, did you have fun? Right. And so I think like if you can make sure the kid understands, like, yeah, you might not have success should be, were you a good teammate? Did you have fun? And at the end of the day, that might keep them engaged longer. And then the other point is, the more you present them opportunities and different things, they will. Kids they'll find their path in something. One of the things, I got to jump to a meeting here in a little bit, but like,
Yeah.
the one thing, our sport requirement, I'll give you a couple quick success stories. Last Summer Olympics, our school had 4 Olympians. The only other high school in America it had 5,500 kids in it that had 4 Olympians. Our school has about 550 kids. One was a rower crew, and nobody really rows growing up. But because of our thing, big kid, our coach does an amazing job. She looks for big, lean kids. He got rowing, went to Princeton, huge success there, was on the national team, won a gold medal. Another kid just went to Harvard. He finished second in the high jump last year at the Penn Relays, which is national.
Right. Yep.
He finished second. He came here. He thought he was a basketball player. Needs something to do in the spring. He said, "I'll do track, but I'm not going to run anything over 100." And they said, "Okay, you're going to run the 100. And you're going to jump." He ends up being the best high jumper in the area. Decides to go to Harvard, among other opportunities. If it wasn't to kind of force participation, but I think for families that aren't in a school environment like this, present opportunities, because
Right.
you might fall in love with.
You never know.
You never
You don't know what they're going to fall in love with.
And
right.
It's when you guys know when you love
or
something.
where they fit.
Yeah. And we have plenty of kids, like they have tons of success in crew or cross country, and they probably can't catch a ball very well.
Right.
But the kids that I can catch my ball, they don't have the stamina or the toughness to endure a 20-minute race or a whatever it is. And so
Great point.
It's that balance. And I think that there's team dynamic. And that's the cool thing about our place is those kids, it's shared struggle together, whether you're in a pool together or you're on a track together or the course together or whatever, on the river together, rowing. It's hard. And so now you're connected with your teammates. And I think that leads to a great advantage for the kids to find out what their path is. And it might not be what the parents thought. And my kids won't touch a lacrosse stick. And, I grew up in the area play and they play lacrosse. Nope, they want nothing to do with it. And I don't really care. It would be cool, but I just, the only reason I'd say, why don't you try lacrosse is because I want them to try everything. And they could care less that I played lacrosse.
Yeah. No, that has no bearing on it.
Yeah. So
I'll let you go.
I appreciate you guys. It's fun.
Coach, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Great having you on.
Yeah.
Good stuff, bro.
We say
hashtag,
not hashtags used to be a thing, but not anymore, but hashtag 2 or more. Always want our kids to be playing 2 or more sports and go EA.
Absolutely. All right,
thanks,
Coach. Have a great day.
Soon. You got it. Take care, guys.
All right. Bye-bye. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's a good. He's I've heard him speak a couple of times. He's good. He didn't even get into the football stuff, but like it's he's got a really good thing.
I don't think he really wanted to get into too much on the football stuff either. That was the vibe I got. He wanted to focus kind of more on that 2 sport and dive into what the school success is, right? Yeah, he has a lot of success in football.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. And it's a great school academically. So,
yeah, no doubt.
you know.
Well, it's like you said. I mean, it's just the way they kind of approach things, the way they do things. Like, it's definitely a different dynamic than most places that you're looking at. Obviously, it's private, it's whatever, but within that itself too. Like, because I always like to talk to guys that, like, especially a role where he's at, where you're the athletic director and the head football coach. Like, that's a really difficult dynamic for other people to kind of like see it. And it's because it's why I asked them that question, right? Because it's always like, oh, well, there's favoritism, or they get this and we don't get that, and why not, and whatever. So you kind of have to really be a different dude. And especially when he referenced it too, he's like, oh, they get one Todd, they get football Todd, or they get, out of season Todd. Right. And that's totally understandable, because if you have that, you're that football coach now, like, you're going to be different in that approach to certain things, but you got to just surround yourself with the right people. But I always like to ask that question, because that's a really hard look. Being an athletic director or a head coach alone is tough. Doing both, I just, you know what I mean? Like, the things that come across and things you have to deal with, like, oh my God, I can't even imagine.
No doubt. It's interesting stuff. Like, he's really,
oh, he's a really put together dude, bro. His stuff, you should see his presentations.
Yeah.
His clinics are unbelievable. Like, when he speaks at a clinic, dude, I mean, it's to the nines. I thought you were going to talk to him. I thought you were going to ask him about, the no phys ed requirement in his older age.
I was gonna go into that. But
that could have been a whole podcast in itself.
He started talking about the how the sports became a part of the requirement, and I was like trying to think whether I thought that was good or not. You know what I mean? So I was like, I hadn't really thought about whether that's good or not before. You know what I mean? Like, I know Texas uses the sport in a period, which is different, like, and that's usually like movement or strength conditioning. It's not like really like that. Sometimes they practice, but they'll use it in other aspects, which to me, so I would like to talk about that part in the future, because I wasn't like sure with like sports carrying acting as a phys ed requirement, is that necessarily
a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm not sure if that's an answer to me, but because there's certain sports that are not. I mean, there's obviously running cross country or rowing, super physical.
You're saying that certain sports don't fulfill like a phys ed requirement? Is like
I'm not saying they don't.
Thinking about it.
I don't.
Like, thinking about it.
I'll use bowling as an example.
Yo, your forearms, my quads kill me.
Your forearms will be jacked. You're right.
My hamstrings hurt like a motherfucker, bro.
You got some hamstrings, baby? Yeah.
Look, buddy.
You got a big old belly.
You got to remember, I did special ed, dude. Like, we went bowling all the time. Like, that was our go-to.
Bowling is great. I love bowling.
It was phenomenal. And those dudes beat the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were juiced. And to be honest, like, and it was just fun to do it.
I mean, you're moving, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, and look, I think it's like, what? Like, would golf be considered a physical activity? Right.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You're walking. But my point is that the same. Well, listen, phys ed as it is now is a problem. So, if golf,
look, some people tell us when we were playing pickleball, you're not doing shit.
My knees can tell you differently on that one. But
who somebody said something to me about this weekend about pickleball, bro. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was one of the Maybe it was one of the coaches at the tournament, or somebody. It might have been your no, it might have been the your 11U quarterback's dad. Might have been like, I think he said, maybe it was him that was saying something about, yeah, I played pickleball for the first time. And I'm like, oh, buddy, like, it's awesome.
Years ago, we were in it.
Yeah, my God, that's it. That's it. So good.
I would. Someone was to ask me about pickleball a few weeks ago.
Somebody asked me something, and I said, "Oh yeah, Coach Schumann went to a tournament, got humbled real quick."
Did two tournaments.
I was like, he realized real quick, like, "Oh, there's some guys that are a little different when it comes to this stuff."
I was playing singles, dude. That was crazy. I'm too old to be playing singles.
Yeah, hell no, we didn't do that. That was like
I was
that
running.
was
They had me
miserable.
running. They had me running from sideline to sideline.
But we talked about it. That would be the perfect transition sport coming out of college. You just finished your last year of ball and you now get into pickleball. Like that would be perfect because it's so different, so something less, but you're still competing. You're still doing whatever. I'd like to see high schools start to put together formal pickleball clubs where they can go and compete against other teams. Like I would love to do
I think
that.
pickleball's kind of flattened a little bit in its popularity.
Yeah, because people have realized like you can't it's not look for a while it was like, oh, the new league or this or that or all these people of like
And people getting hurt.
now people are like
hurt stops everybody from being a great athlete.
People always have to go above and beyond just immediate. They have to go from 0 to 60. Not like let's do that. Like damn, bro.
I'm that way. I'm 100% that way. I've always
I've never. I mean, I'm gonna do it to my best of my ability, but I gotta figure it out first. Like, I'm not just gonna dive into the deep end without knowing what the temperature of the water is.
I dive right in. It's probably
you're like fuck it, like let's go.
I'll dive into anything.
Tomorrow.
I even rock climbed for a while when Troy was like 5 when we would go up to this rock climbing place and he was kind of into it for a while. Dude,
Freehold Mall, the Freehold Mall, the Dick's Sporting Goods
at
Freehold
Mall. You got to go up. If I'm going up, you're going up.
Is unbelievable.
Next thing you know,
they have a rock climbing wall in there.
I've been there.
Yeah, I was there the other day. They do like birthday parties. They have a whole field.
You'll start to get into some of that stuff. It's fun.
My daughter's going to be
I love those rock climbing things. I miss those places. I used to love it.
Yeah, there was one in there was a couple that were local.
Yeah, there's one in Middletown that's actually a rock climbing place. Like
right, really like a facility.
A facility, and we went there for a couple summers. Like before, he must not have been like really mature enough to go to enough camps. You know what I'm saying? So we would be like,
now every week in the summer he's at a different sport camp.
Yeah. But back then, like, all right, it's lunchtime. Let's go over to the rock climbing place. So we go over there,
right?
Rock climb.
He's at the prime, like yours, like Troy's the prime time age right now for camps and everything. Like his group, like that's 6, 7, 5, 6, 7 is where it's just, and especially for the sports he plays. Like, I mean, look, every sport has something nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like where they could do camps or train or whatever. Basketball's got 1,000 things. Baseball's always got something. He does lacrosse like in his spare time, so that's everything. Football is one camp, couple days, this or that. That's why people go to trainers and they say, "Hey, give me 10 sessions for whatever," and then they do that. But now with flag and all this other stuff, like now they're putting them in leagues and now they're doing this. I mean, the guy I coach with, guy that just joined us this year, his kids are like 10 and 12, I think, and they're like down in Tom's River, and there's just, I mean, it's like, hey, I got to get this one here, this one's got to go there, he's got this, like they're doing baseball right now, and it's like coach pitch or something, like coaches throw it. I'm like, this is unbelievable, dude. Like,
wait, the coaches, so they must be younger if he's doing coach pitch.
I think he has 3. So at whatever level, and then one is on like a travel, like does all kinds of stuff. The other one's more of like a rec like league or whatever. I'm like, I can't. Dude.
When you start to do some of this stuff, it's gonna be.
Can't wait.
It's not gonna be. I
hope they don't
laughing comical, but it's gonna be comical in a sense that like all the stuff that you hear about, but you're not 100% sure what it means.
Yeah, I was the same way.
I didn't know what it meant when they were talking to me about it.
I pray my daughter wants to do like cross country.
You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. I didn't know what they were talking about.
Because I watch like Murphy. I watch him, right? Like
Murphy
in our club, right? He does like, the kid's wrestling here, but then his sister's got a cheering competition here.
Yeah.
Or, like even Jeff, right? Like I watch Jeff with his sons and daughters.
Same thing,
like I'm like, you're all over the place, bro. Even Dave that works with us, You know, he's talking about, hey, I got a cheering
daughters.
competition here.
Yep.
I got this over there. And, oh, well, she's got, you know, this practice here for this thing. And then she's got, you know, this tryout here for this. And then, oh yeah, guess what? The season ended and it's 2 weeks later. And now all of a sudden we're into the next season already. I don't know. I hope my daughter wants to do cross country. Go run. I'll see you in an hour.
Even there, it's going to be, then it'll be like, so, you know,
at least it'll be on her though.
Yeah, that's true. The individual, that is, listen, the beauty of an individual sport.
I want her to be a team person and understand team and all of that. But, you know, I don't know. It's still on her. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, because in my experience, in 17 years ago, the hardest thing to do is to coach a guy to do his job even when he does a good job, because it depends on others around him. Like, you don't see the success. Like, buddy, you did great on that play, but everybody else shit the bed. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard.
And it's hard to say that, because then everybody hears you.
Right. And they're like,
the guy, and everybody else was
shitty. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. You're like, well, maybe, yeah, on that play, right? Like, that's why football is just, it's like such a beast, bro.
It is. I'm coaching the youth. I'm helping out in the youth track. And
right. And that's got to be so fun for you.
It's the kids.
Like, you're going back to your true roots, dude.
Like when a kid, I don't know, if there's a kid that just doesn't want to do the drill right. Like, I have this, you know, the CBA kids help me, like the high school kids. And
who, by the way, their baseball team right now is in California playing, just like reference. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
I just look at some of that stuff because I think it's crazy. Like, they're there. Ocean is in South Carolina and Manalapan is in Florida right now for their preseasons, doing whatever they're doing. I love that. I think that's one of the best things about, because public schools can do it. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, you also just saw guys get in trouble, right? Like down south, one of these legendary baseball coaches had to resign because they went down to Myrtle Beach and one of his assistants does something stupid. And now he's got to take the fall for it because his name's on it.
Yeah. Well,
brutal.
You know, it's fun. You know, what's fun is that the kids can get better, and it doesn't matter what place they are. So if you're able to mark their times down and they get better,
I love that you've gotten to see the true middle school sports when it's affiliated with the school and how different it is than if it's the youth organization. Right? When it's tied to the school, because it's different. You know what I mean? Like, it's different the way guys approach it.
It is different. That's what I said. Like, it's
good, bad, or indifferent. It's just
one
different.
Doesn't mean one's better than the other. It just
right. I'm just saying. Yeah. It's just.
Some people like one better. Some people like, but I just think it's different.
People like, I think guys that like us who grew up with like being taught to compete and you know what I mean? And like, hey, it's not always going to be, even though, for most part for us, like we came out on the other side of it, right? Like we were the 5th grader who played 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like we were still in the mix and we were still one of the better players on the team, regardless of age or whatever that was. Whereas some of these guys have only been the best kid because that's all there was. You know what I'm saying? Like they never had to compete.
I remember in 7th grade, I might have started to grow a little bit, but I hadn't hit puberty per se. And I was playing tackle football, and the 8th grade kids who had hit puberty, I was like, I couldn't keep up with them.
Yeah.
In like, you know, sprints after practice, where I couldn't keep up with them. I was surprised by that. And
my eye opener was,
and then the next year I was that guy because I was big in 8th grade. So it was and everyone thought, oh my God, he's gonna stop growing. But actually I kept growing and growing and growing. But it was
5th grade was the big thing for me because I remember like we were at basketball practice and this was CYO, so Catholic Youth League. 5th and 6th were together, and I remember like the older guys or the guys that played, like that was good. They were good. The group in front of me was like they were good. They were athletic, right? So like I remember they were doing something like on the court with everybody, and the coach was like, "Hey, go over there, and I just want you to do all of these drills dribbling." Right? Because we got to work your left hand or whatever. And I was like, wait, why am I not like playing? right? Like I wasn't even on the team. Like they were going 5-on-5 and I wasn't even in the 5 that was giving him like the look. He's like, no, you got to work that before you can do any of this. That was my like, oh shit. Okay. Like I'm not doing this. Yeah. And then it was like, all right, I'm not doing this. And then, you know, I'm out there at 10 o'clock at night in the driveway, like, you know what I mean? Like throwing the ball off the wall or just shooting and doing whatever. I thought the point that he brought up was really good in, hey, I don't see a future for my daughter in basketball, but I want her to play it as long as she can. I resonated with that because I wasn't a basketball player, but I loved basketball. And even my senior year, like even like progression in high school of like, I started as a freshman and then I lost that job to an older kid because he just got better. And I just was like, oh, I'm a football player, basketball, I just do. Right. But then from going like being the starter to now being like the 6th man into the game as a sophomore, like rubbed me the wrong way. I was like pissed. I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, okay, I guess I have to get better. Where now I am like going out and practicing dribbling, or I am sitting in the driveway 10 o'clock at night shooting free throws and just kind of doing whatever, trying to mimic the white Jason Williams. That was my guy. I wore 55. How crazy is that as a jersey number? Because he did that when he was with the Kings. But it was like, you dude, like, and you knew it's like, hey, you're not going to college to play basketball. I'm like, yeah, but I love basketball. We've always done basketball. And my team was god awful. I mean, when I went into high school, they were 0 for 2 seasons, 0-44.
Well, that also humbles you too. That also humbles you. Like,
but there was always this mentality of like, oh, we're a football school. And that's bullshit. Like, I hated that. It's like, no, we can still compete and do other things. And then you should have seen the euphoria when we won a game my freshman year. It was our only win, 1 in 23. And it was like, good God. And then the next year we won 3 games. And then my junior year, where that senior group was like more basketball guys that didn't really like 3 of the 5 starters didn't play football. And at Butler, that was not a thing. That was incredible because normally it was like 5 guys and they were all football guys. Right. So we won like 11 games, got into the tournament, and then had to play the number 1 seed. And we like, you know what I mean? Lose by 40, but we made playoffs and it was like a big deal. And then senior year, it was like, all right, like, you're still going to play basketball? And it's like, yeah, dude, I'm not playing basketball. I love basketball and we're going to keep doing it. So I hope kids understand that too, that just like, you know, you only have so long to play organized sports with in a team, like a true team setting, like a high school where you've gone to school with these guys, you've grown up with most of these kids for the most part, or you've like, if you're in a private school setting, you've played with these kids, especially with the way
you go to school with them,
all that stuff. Like you go to school, it's just different. Like you said, you just said it today, right? Like high school and college are still 2 totally different worlds. The locker room in high school is so different than the locker room in college. It's not even close, dude. You know what I mean? Like you're always going to remember, look, you can have friends for life from both, but there's just something about high school and that aspect of it that's different than it is when you get into a college locker room.
Like college to me, it probably taught me the most for life as far as how to overcome things and become better. The level of I loved the level of competition was high. I loved it. I always craved that. So I loved all of that part of it. But it was also there's no doubt because your job's always on the line. There's a level of stress. So that was different for me than high school where you know, my job was never on the line per se.
You were gonna play, dude, because you were always like you could have been you could have had your worst day of your life, and there were still kids that couldn't tie your shoes.
So I was lucky, and so were you from that aspect. But like
I know, and it used to piss a lot of kids off, dude. Like,
I mean, obviously we worked hard, so it wasn't like we didn't work hard. But you also have,
but that's where we didn't push the envelope either, right? Like we understood, like for me, it was a lot of, especially young when my dad coached me, because my dad coached me up until 7th grade, and whether I should have been privy to this information or like, you know, like I just always remember, like people would give him shit, right? because I played as a 5th grader with the 6th graders. I played, you know what I mean? Like, so for me, there was always this level of like, look, I need to back this up so my dad doesn't take shit. Like, I need to be the best player every single play so nobody can ever go to my dad and be like, well, he's only playing because he's your son. Like, I didn't want him to have to deal with that. And then, you know, transition to now, like, we go to high school. So he stopped coaching me then. And then we go to high school and I have a coaching change sophomore year. And my dad had coached at that level before. And my head coach, who got named head coach, came to me and asked me and said, hey, would you mind if your dad came on staff? And I said, look, I have absolutely no problem because I know he's a really good coach and I know he can help us. But as long as he doesn't coach my position, right, then I'm cool. Like, we're good. He can coach me on special teams or do whatever, but I don't want him to be my receivers coach or my DBs coach. And that wasn't what he did. He was like a running backs guy and a special teams guy, which is probably why I do all the specials that I do, because of like, that was his thing. So it was just a different dynamic. But going back to talking about like how we were like always like about the team, right? Like, cause I've always talked about that part of like, you know, I was always a team first guy, right? Like that came from obviously like him and instilling that like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, you do what's best for the team, you know, like if you have to play guard, you go play guard, right? And you don't ask any ifs or ands about it. You just do it because they want you to do it. It's not about, oh, well, you're not going to play guard in college, so, you know, you can't get the looks or the film or what. Like, no, whatever helps us win, that's going to and then everything else will take care of itself. You know, just go and do it really well. Cause I didn't want that blowback for him to have to deal with that shit, dude. Cause that's a real thing. And especially in middle school, when all the peer pressures and the bullying stuff, and like, that's kind of a little bit of growing up. I think you have to go through some of that shit where you're kind of that guy. Like, for even being the best player, you took shit because people were jealous, or you knew other mommies and daddies were talking shit, right?
Mom and dad.
Oh yeah, but like, and I think that's something
Derek's not that good.
Now. Right. His dad gets him like, it's because his dad is a cop in the other town that he gets all this shit or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like
that always bullshit. Tried to be very fair when conversations come up about other athletes. I try to talk about it if possible, but. Right. But even if the conversation,
like think about it, Dave,
I try to be fair to the my opinion.
100%.
So like,
yes, like my dad, like never,
like I'm like,
never
hey, participated really when they were
this. Right, when they were voting on like MVP, like he was never involved. He's like, look, I'm not gonna, like, you guys make that decision, right? Like, now look, to me, it was like I had to be above and beyond to prove to everybody that like he's the best player, so nobody can say shit. Like, that's just how I went about it. But he didn't like. You know, like the coaches would come to my house after games to break down film together. You know what I mean? So they'd be down there ripping this guy apart or ripping that guy apart. Like, I made sure to separate myself, like lock myself in my room, play NCAA. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to hear it because I knew I was going to get as much, if not more shit the next day because I was the higher level of whatever it was. And I think sometimes that too.
It's hard because you do hear it. You just don't. What you don't want to do.
I think it allowed me to mature sooner.
I tell my son if I'm analyzing something, like, listen, I said, you know, you don't want, if you hear something, you don't want to judge the player. Like, I'm more looking at performances and things that I think could be better or worse. Like, the kids as a whole are all great kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for.
Remember, it's the same thing like when you talk about that.
Kid,
too.
that's why you try to keep it away from kids. They don't understand that.
Right. Yeah. I'm judging him from an athletic standpoint. I'm also trying to make the best decision for the good of the group.
I'm trying to make a decision. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not judging because I don't.
This has nothing to do with that because his parents are assholes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be, because I have an issue or whatever it is. You're just trying to take that, you know, I guess, like, you know, you're just trying to not to be one-sided.
For the most part, like I told you, like, there are people that are like that, but I've been fairly lucky that even though there has, you know, over the years, there's been some issues. Like, for the most part, and maybe it's because he's a pretty good athlete, a little bit of it takes care of itself. Some of it, you know,
which is where I always, I knew that, and I always wanted that to be a part of it. Was like, look, I'll just be really good. So like people have less bullets to fire at my dad. You know what I'm saying? Because he was going to take them irregardless and look, he was really good about it. My mom was really good about it.
I didn't care.
He didn't give shit. He didn't give two shits. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he coached hard, dude. Like he coached hard. Like,
oh, I'm sure he did.
Like, it wasn't, it was because that's how they were coached.
My father was like that. But my father, like when he got, old, probably so much older now. You know, he really is very.
The other thing is his perspective from being in law enforcement too, because he always saw like he was constantly seeing the negatives of everything, right?
Which is hard.
So now but then it was really it was wild to see how his just outlook on people changed when he retired, and now he was out of that world, and he was like, yeah, like. Guy just screwed up once, man. Like, he's really a good guy. Whereas back in the day, it would have been like, nope, he's a bad dude. You know what I mean? Like, zero tolerance of like whatever. And then to kind of take that step back, it was really interesting to see how he grew as a person. Just like, and I didn't blame him when he was in law enforcement because, yeah, you're seeing the negative of everything every single day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't arrest good people, or like, yeah, it's just you know what I mean. For the most part, it's like shit. Like like you can't fault him for that. Yeah, and he competed forever, dude. Like, and he was I bet you if he, even to this day, if you ask him like your favorite sport or whatever, it's baseball, hands down. And I didn't even play baseball. Like he coached at the high school, and I didn't even play high school baseball. You know what I mean? Like guys that were in the I didn't even play it. And I feel it's probably that was his sport. I mean, he played it up until he was. He still was traveling around, going to Florida, playing in wood baseball bat leagues at 50, dude. Like he loved it that much. Yeah, I mean, he played both in college at Willie P. Like it was fucking Looney Tunes. And then in 6th grade, I'm like, Dad, I don't want to do this, and I respect it. Like he was like, look, all good. You don't want to do it. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be a 3-sport guy. It sucks that you don't want to play the one that I love, but you know what? Like, it's all good. But that was cool. Like, he didn't force me to do anything or any of that other kind of stuff. Like, I presented him with like a plan because he was like, look, you're not just doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like, what are you going to do? Well, Dad, there's some camps and there's some, there's this speed school I'd like to go to. And, all this other kind of stuff. He's like, all right, well then that's what we're going to do. And you're going to live in the weight room and you're going to do what your coaches tell you and you're going to figure it out, but you're not going to do nothing for that season. I remember the one year when he was like, what are you doing this spring? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to try track. He's like, oh, that's cool. I didn't make a full practice. I'm like, Coach, I'm not running this 400, bro.
Yeah. It's one thing I want to tell you, I implemented for the first time in track. I brought out the timing gates and we did flying 10s in track practice.
That's awesome.
Okay. And I have a lot of kids in 5th through 8th.
I probably
have 40 kids, and they all got, and I brought the vertical jumps. And I explained to them, I have some CBA kids that help me. I'm like, you guys just stand at the line, just yell up their times to them. And they all ran 4 flying 10s. They all know what their time is. They all did 2 vertical jumps, although they were going over there on their own, testing their own vertical jumps.
That's okay.
They all did that.
That's okay.
And you know what? Yeah, it's great. I like Troy goes over me, goes, kids were jumping more than the 2 times that we did it. I said, great. We just tricked them into taking.
Yep. You're like, that's great. We just proved everything. Look, because I told you. Did I tell you? I told you the story.
They want to time themselves. They love it.
But I told you the other day, right? Like we were transitioning, right? And we had just finished maxes. We're going to a new, this is the spring cycle or whatever for the next couple of weeks of what we're doing. And we've obviously had broad jumps on there, right? So I just broke out the tape measure the other day in the weight room. I told the head coach, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm going to get 2 of there. I'm going to let them jump twice and I'm going to record it. I just want to see, who's going to be our explosive dudes. And I want to compare it to our list of guys last year and see kind of like, not so much of where they at, but just where we are as a team. Like how many guys do we have over 8? How many of these, like in this sophomore, like the current freshmen, right, that are going to be sophomores, like dude, if we have majority of them over 7'3", we're sitting pretty. Like, we're going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, and then these guys should be our top guys. Bro, when it was a fight to be like, bro, 2 jumps and go. I mean, coach, let me go again. Coach, let me go again. Coach, let me go again. I'm like, this just proved every bit of rank, record, and publish that we could possibly do. Because now I have guys. I mean, Dave, it wasn't even guys were coming in from track practice going, hey, coach, I got to do my broad. Like, I got to get my numbers. And it's like, buddy, you're not even like you just ran like whatever. You just finished your track workout.
That's
you're not going to come. But I'm like, dude, this is why. And I showed some of the younger coaches that are with us. I said, this is why you put shit on a list, dude. Like, something so small like this doesn't matter, right? And then you also saw guys that were like, you know, oh, he jumped more than me. Like, you saw how that played into it. And then you saw guys that like, well, I'm not jumping. That's going to be terrible in comparison. And it's like, but all right, well, now are you the competitor that I thought you were? You know what I mean? Like, it gives you a good gauge on kind of like how they're going to view it and what is going to go into it. But it was awesome.
It's enormous. Look, we taught like for all the years. Last year we did do track because Troy had the foot thing. So, but the other years before, we would run the track meets and they wouldn't mark down the times. Okay, I'd always be like, "What's the time?" So I would just kind of time Troy just so I had a reference. When they asked me to help out this year, I said, "Listen, the one thing we have to do is get times on as many kids as they can, because if we get times on them, they can measure how they are doing." And so immediately, what is every kid coming over to me at the end of their race? Did you get my time?
Coach, what's my time? What's my time? Coach, what's my time? What's my time? What's my time?
And then the coaches were coming over, like, hey,
what he run?
Can you get some of the fourth grade? There's a few really good fourth graders. Can you get these kids times? Because we want to know what they run.
He's better than.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's 100 little kids. I can't time all of them. It's impossible.
But that's awesome.
But I tried to time the guys that the coaches were like, "Hey, these are like our really fast kids. Can you try and get times them?" I said we want to time them, and I got almost all the 5th or 8th graders. I might have missed 1 or 2. It's hard. You're standing at the lines going so fast, but I said I want to get them all because then they know what they run. Now in practice, when I have to coach them, they're not aimlessly sprinting. And now I'm timing them in practice.
You're teaching them that you're like, hey, you're being held accountable right here, bro.
Yes. Yeah.
And
when they ran the race, like the other coaches came over and asked me, "What did you have on your kid?" Because our 4x1, Troy's team, which was a 4x1 5th, 6th grade, they won their race out of 8 teams. And then the girls, 7th, 8th grade, which was 2 6th graders and 2 7th graders, won the whole thing. And the coach who they beat,
because you get to compete. A really good team. Do you compete against other middle schools that are private schools or public schools?
They're all Catholic schools, all Catholic.
Okay.
It's all Catholic schools. So it's I
want to see if I can
St. Leo's. It's all those schools, St. James, St. Leo's. And then I could see, by the way, our relays. I wanted to see what the girls run in Penn relays in the middle school. So I have an idea of where they might be able to get to, because I'm like, wow, these girls are pretty fat. Like, they won all the races, and our girls won like every race in the sprints. Obviously, we only practiced it a couple times, so it has zero to do with the fact
I'm curious. I want to see. I want to see what you think. I posted. I put a link. I just put a link in the chat for this is like the hot topic on Twitter today.
Oh, it is?
Click on it and watch this tackling drill that what school is it is doing. I put it in the chat on the side here.
Is it the status thing?
It's the I want you to see
individual.
Yeah, in the chat on the side where people could kind of say stuff or whatever. I put it in there. It's on Twitter, but it's the hot topic of today. It's SEMO football, and I don't know what it is. I didn't even know what school it is or whatever. But football. go yeah. Just it's like I said, it's Tony Schiffman post. It's actually College Report is the X that posted it. I could send it to you.
SEMO football showcase the drill that is completely stupid.
Yes. So look at it and what you think. because it's all the blowback right now in what's going on. Oh my God, it's the hot topic.
It's
on Twitter.
idiotic.
What the fuck are these guys doing, dude?
Is this college? This is
I don't know.
Southeast
I think
Missouri?
it is. Yeah, I
Casimo,
think it's
Southeast Missouri.
So here's my thing. This was my take on it, right? So because I think it's wild. I said, as a player, you'd have to hold me back from going every rep because I'm juiced. I want to do this. Like, let's go. I couldn't wait to get in this. That's the type of player I was of like, let's go. As a coach,
I would have been that way too.
You're a fucking idiot.
You're an idiot. You're going to get your running back murdered? I mean,
guess your favorite fired JUCO coach who is very vocal and loves to curse is all behind this. His comment on this is, buddy, this is football. All of you, whatever, just need to go and like make yourself some sandwiches. Like,
there's no blocker. You didn't even have a blocker.
It's one guy with 3 guys running down to murder you.
This is stupid. This is stupid. I'm going to comment. This is stupid.
I commented. I said, look, like as a player, it's one thing I said, but as a coach, like there are way better ways to get accomplished what you're trying to get accomplished here. Like, and there's not one guy I don't think who hasn't commented on it. Like Adam Archuleta was like, this is ridiculous. Torrey Smith is like, what are we doing? Like, this is the problem with what's going on.
And a lot of things I like and a lot of things that are just dumb too. So.
Coach JB's, he lost his mind. He's like, dude, literally, if you go through your Twitter, once you clicked on it now, like everybody is that you look at.
I wouldn't have even though I don't do these things anymore. Like
I'd at least have blockers.
We used to do the
the group thing is brutal because like you have somebody coming from a blind side. Yeah.
That's the stupidity, the group thing. Like, how do you not make the tackle on this?
It's impossible. It's 3-on-1. And they go low.
I'm in shock. I like
and they go low. Right? Like they're not even going up
the college transfer portal.
That's what got me about it, Dave. Like they're hitting him in his legs.
Yeah,
it's not even like they're staying above. Like, guys, stay up. Like, no, dude, they're just going like we're on kickoff. Full go. Here we go. It's wild.
They might be fired. Those guys.
They might take some shit. Dude, it's funny. The funniest comment I saw was like, I guess the head coach had a meeting and the assistants are running practice on this one. Like,
I can see that.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, bro.
I was curious.
Somebody was like, wait, is this AI? There's no way this is real life. Like, there's no way this is real life. Like,
I'm just curious if I know any coaches on the staff.
I just, dude, like, what are we doing? It's totally different.
Oh, wow.
Do you? I'm sure you do.
Whipple's son's a grad assistant on the staff.
As in Mark Whipple, as in like
Yep.
Oh. As
grad
in like
assistant,
UMass?
Grad assistant.
Oh yeah. So he's being told, hey, we're doing this drill, make sure the bags are set up.
But I don't know anybody on this staff. I don't think.
Bro, it's crazy.
I'm looking. I might know this guy.
Oh, go figure. Preseason rankings. Rumson, number 6 for girls flag. Of course they are.
What are you guys?
Oh, we're not in the top. Pinelands is number 8. This is like this is state. So they did a top 20. Definitely not in that. Mastery Camden is number 1, definitely. Yeah.
Head coach had to be a defensive guy.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Mount Olive, number 11.
What position do you think the head coach played in college? He played Division I. What position do you think he played?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
It's Division. Yeah, I think it's. Oh no, maybe it's Division II. But what position do you think he played?
Oh, he's the linebacker.
Correct.
I was going linebacker or D-line.
I mean, this would be like letting loose my middle linebacker coach when I was a Sam linebacker, just took him right out of college and said, "This is your head coach." That's what he would probably wanted to do. He was great. He was crazy.
Yeah,
Oh
this would be
man,
like
but,
Toll would have been okay with this one.
yeah, but back in the day, I don't think Toll, if he was the head coach now, would
No, he wouldn't do that, which is why he kind of
Back in the day, everybody did crazy shit.
We started every day with, we called it Alabama, right? But it was basically a Penn State drill, right? And it was one DB and receiver, one linebacker and running back or tight end, one O-line, D-line, and that's how you started practice. And then whistle blew, bam, you're gone and go. Look, we did it at Mount Olive too in 2017, the team you saw in the state finals, right? The kids came to us, the captains or the older guys, and we're like, Coach, practice always starts slow. Everybody eases into it. Like, we need to do this to start it. And we would like it if you would allow us to kind of go and do it, and you guys kind of whatever. So we would warm them up, right? Coaches would go to the 50-yard line. They'd go down to like where the lacrosse goal was, that circle. And they would pick two cats and say, all right, go. And they would battle until one of them pushed the other one out of the circle. And then we would start practice. And they did that on their own. That's how we knew, like, oh shit, this team's a little different, right? Because they policed it. Like, whether they knew, and it didn't have to be like good on good. It could have been like, hey, this dude said some shit to this dude's girlfriend, so we're going to let him fight it out. Like, and we kind of allowed them to do their own thing. And look, whether people agree with that or not, it was that team policed it and handled it. We never had any issues. And guess what? We practiced better because of it. Like, they weren't idiots. We didn't do it on a Thursday, the day before a game, but Tuesday, Wednesday, they were fucking dialing it up down there. It was awesome.
This comment is hilarious. Simo said, remember Nutcracker drills? We're bringing it back, but 3-on-1 and everyone's 15 yards away.
It's the millennials way, or it's the whatever Gen X's way of, this is Gen X's Penn State drill. Even that's 15 yards away of, like, because we used to do what, like 10 yards.
You want to do something like this? You have blockers, okay? You have.
It's just fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, no blocker. Like the biggest thing
that's,
for me,
I've never. That's
generally crazy. No blockers. He doesn't even have a chance.
Talk about a run, right? Even if he makes one guy miss, he's getting like the other dudes, two other dudes. And I know that's part the going low thing.
How about this? They felt
it. I just can't believe they went low. Like. I can't, dude. That's wild.
Absolutely hilarious.
I woke up to that this morning and I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be a Tuesday. Like,
there's a whole bunch of stuff coming. He has been the head coach since 2014.
The guy that's there.
That's what it says. It says he's been head coach in 2014.
The one coach, crazy to think you need a degree to coach and come up with a drill like this.
Note to self, they do not want running backs to make it past spring ball team, Mel.
Right. I guess they're trying to throw it more. Yeah, how do you feel if you're the guy carrying the ball? You're like, fuck.
And they're taking your knees out.
That's what I'm saying. And they all go low.
Oh my God. This
I mean,
drill
the third guy
I'm actually flabbergasted.
The third guy is so late, right? In making the and he misses lighting the guy's head up. Like,
he's trying to light his head up.
That's what I'm saying. He's coming in like a missile. Like,
he's kind of half scared. He's kind of half scared.
Look in the back behind the ball carrier. Watch the coach with the clipboard. He's juiced. He goes airborne. He's excited about this.
Well, what does he think is going to happen?
Watch. Look. Yeah.
Fucking. That guy's a hand job.
All the guys in orange or red or whatever it is, all the offensive guys are like, fuck this, dude. Like, I don't want, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, they're like, I do not subscribe to this. That's what they're saying.
Well, because, this is probably the first day in pads, right? It's the first thing out of warm-ups, right? Like blow the whistle, like let's set the tone. Here we go. Blah blah blah. Now the entire practice, it's like you're shit. We're done.
I'm trying to look at some of these other running backs. They're in the background waiting. I see one guy like lifting his knees up, trying to get himself a little loose. Like
this is the one play where they're actually pulling their pants down over their knees. They're like, "Fuck."
Yeah. They're like,
dude, I didn't. Hey, you have knee pads? I need your knee pads.
They might. I think they're gonna stretch out.
Let me get stretch out a little bit. Like, do you have knee pads?
Actually, let me get myself warmed up here real quick.
Bro, it's so bad. It's crazy. Tomorrow, I know I sent it to you already, but we'll have Justin Wickard, who's a sprints and what is he?
Tony Holler said something controversial today. Did you see that?
Oh, controversial in philosophy wise, or
people are all over it.
Oh boy,
I saw it on TikTok, but it's a million comments. They're all over like what he said.
Oh boy,
he said. Let me see if I can find it. And
Tony's good for one of those every now and then.
He said basically, weight room ain't gonna get you faster.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Like at all. He said it doesn't help speed at all.
Well, it said because a next level baseball.
Even I, who's a big
is this the one you're talking about?
Agree with that.
Next Level Baseball posted breaking news: stronger equals faster. Get stronger, and you will get faster. And he commented, "The opposite is true." Is that what it was? Because that was a couple of days ago. I saw him say that. He doubled down on it.
He might have said on a podcast. Sometimes TikTok, it's hard to.
Yeah, I've been trying to I've been really trying to work with the TikTok shit.
How to get TikTok to you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have a user history deal, so like
got it. You can't really vet what somebody's saying. I got listen, Dave, this one too that is coming on Friday. Because we have two podcasts on Friday since it's Good Friday. So, we have. So, yeah. Bob King, who was the original strength coach for the Dallas Mavericks until he stopped in 96. I got him off TikTok because I looked at something like he's worked. Dude, he was the head of strength and conditioning for the Dallas Mavericks in the 90s. And then he was the assistant strength guy for the Cowboys. When they were winning Super Bowls, Dave, he was pulling double duty. I thought that was his name is Bob King.
Okay.
So he was literally, like I said, he has to be one of the first guys to ever be in this role where teams now start to employ those guys. Right. So I'm just so interested to talk to him because he's obviously across multiple disciplines of it, but dude, to be the first guy ever for the Mavericks and then also work with the Cowboys when they're winning, I wonder what that was like. Two of those in those worlds of you're a strength guy, but this is basketball, this is football, and then he obviously has worked with every sport. So I'm really, I'm so juiced to talk to him or just have him on. That's really cool. That's not the norm. And then,
is there a way that you can on TikTok go to your history or no?
In terms of what you looked at?
Oh wait, why did it log me into the board? I haven't even used this one in forever. Boardwalk Pickleball.
Oh, that's funny. Delete that thing.
Oh, that was rolling at one point. 5,900 followers. I have a pickleball my pickleball page. I haven't posted in since 2023, almost 3 years.
Holy shit!
Because we were really into it.
Well, we really haven't played since my daughter was born, and she's about 3. I know I have not picked up. Now look, she loves to take my paddle in the house and smash it and freaking hit balls and shit. She likes it. Maybe when she starts to be able to do some of that stuff, I'll get back into it because I love it.
Yeah, I haven't.
Once maybe I get a knee replacement, will be good.
I think I need a knee replacement to play.
I want mine. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll go at 11 and we'll have Justin Wicker, what's his thing? Tier 1 Athletes is his kind of I think company. But he's also he's based out of Texas, and he's done what the hell is it? Like I said, he's more of a track guy.
Okay.
So, I always love when I get track guys on because all that.
Yeah,
you get to crush all that shit. And then Thursday too is cool because we'll have the head coach from Dickinson University.
Who's the head coach at Dickinson now?
Shah Thacker, SAJ, last name THAKKAR.
I wish I could find this Tony Holly thing. I really wish.
Younger. I mean, I don't know. These guys all look young to me, but I'm sorry, Davidson. I screwed up. Not Dickinson. Davidson. It's Davidson College.
Oh, Davidson College is great.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm excited to have him on. Because that school's been like up and coming, bro.
But Davidson, yeah, what's the name? I've been there. Curry put a lot of money into it. That's where he
Somebody anonymously donated $500,000 to Temple yesterday. Temple football.
Really?
Anonymous. I'm like, good for them.
For what?
That's what I'm saying. What do you do with it? Yeah, like where do you put it? You ain't gonna build anything.
I wish I could find this damn video on I bet you I'm gonna just look at my phone real quick for it. I want to send it to you after. I just curious. I have so much crap.
I forwarded you an email too. A team from Canada wants to come, and they just had a couple questions.
I already said.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't know what was confusing about it, but like the question they were asking, it's like
I had answered it, but she wanted to.
I'm sure they were also vetting.
I found it. I found it.
How many teams are coming and all that kind of stuff.
I want to play this because I'm curious your thoughts if you hear this. Let me see if I could somehow. Let me see if I can put. I'll put it in the chat.
Hey, how come your boy Steve yesterday hopped in on the podcast? Did he want to get on or something? Did he want to talk to Coach?
I asked him. He knew.
I know. I was gonna say he probably knew someone who knew or
he coached against him or whatever when he was at Holy Cross, and
I figured that's what it was.
That's not the wrong thing. Try this one.
I have to call him. He called me last night because he was like, dude, I want to come on again. That was awesome.
Yeah, Steve coached against him when Steve was at Holy Cross, I guess, and he was at Georgetown, maybe.
Probably.
And
because what years was Steve at Holy Cross?
He coached at college for 10 years, so he was at Holy Cross for a while.
Was he at Holy Cross when Liam was there?
What year did Liam graduate?
He would have been there 2018 and in like 2018, 19, 20, 21. Liam graduated the year after COVID. So 21, 22, because Liam did 5 years.
He might have. Hold on, let me see. He coached at Holy Cross.
If he didn't, he just missed them. Or maybe he coached him when he was young.
Oh, no, he was before. He played in the NFL.
Steve. But Steve didn't coach at Holy Cross when I was at Sacred Heart, right? Because we scrimmaged, we played a JV game.
Steve played in college, I think, when you were in college. No, he's a little older than you, maybe a few years older. So he coached through looks like 2016, and it's before he got there.
So it's literally right before Liam got there. Because Liam's senior season was 17, he graduated in 18. And then remember, the Patriot League didn't play during COVID. So Liam came home, coached high school football for a year, and then went back and had another year. That's how he's got his MBA from freaking Holy Cross. And he's with the Bengals now.
2017 was his 4th year. 2017. Was he there in 2017?
No, that would have been Liam's senior year of high school.
Because Carly graduated in 2008.
Dave,
so what year did you graduate from college?
08.
Oh, so he's same age, so he's similar age? No, that can't be. I guess he is the same age as you.
Yeah, we're probably the same. Yeah, we're definitely probably the same age.
Wait a minute.
Dave, I'm gonna be 40s. Dave, I'm gonna be 40, bro.
So I get all
Anthony
right, so
Pomo is gonna be 40 years old, bro.
No fucking way, dude.
Dave, we're 40 fucking years old, bro.
Wait.
Anthony Pomo, and we were seniors
Anthony
together.
Pomo's gonna be 40 years old.
If he's not already. If he was older for his grade, remember, I'm young for my grade.
Could be old.
So he's fucking probably 40 already.
I heard his kids are.
Did you get Dave? This weekend is Prolific's tournament. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Did you get the message I sent you?
Oh, I didn't realize they had a tournament this week. I knew they had a tournament. I didn't know it was this week.
Go to your Instagram. Go to your Instagram. I sent you a message. Prolific's tournament. Okay. You got to look at this, what they're doing. You get everything, like he's doing all kinds. You get 10 points for a touchdown. If you can do this.
Where do I read it? Where did you say to read
I sent you a message in Instagram with the post on it so you could see it. He's doing this thing where if you're challenging, you can challenge calls. And if you challenge the call, you're challenging the call, you can do a one-on-one with players. If I read it right. And if you win the one-on-one, if you make like a play over 20 yards, he's giving that player $20.
Wait. Call dog pound 101.
There it is. Yep. Read it.
Oh, it's tourney rule. Okay.
This is a rule.
Take over the game for your team. 1v1 battle. 1 dog pound
per game.
And any down. Okay. Defensive stop on 3rd down. 5 defensive stops are 5 points.
Touchdowns are 10. Read what this dog pound thing is.
I read it. Defensive stop on 3rd down, 5 points. Interception, does that say 8?
Yes. Points? I told you he's doing touchdowns or 10. His whole scoring system is whatever. But how about this whole hey, we're going to do a one-on-one right now.
Earn $10.
That's it.
Every player to win a dog pound past 20 yards earns $10.
What type of circus
kids will like it. I'm just telling you.
I'm not saying they won't, but what are we doing?
People like it. Yeah. Well, I just think you're making the world a lot more complicated for yourself. I believe
he doesn't but you don't know that. He doesn't get that. He also has all grass fields, and it's supposed to rain all week.
Where's it at?
Oh, where the hell? Oh, I forget where Larry told me he was doing it.
Oh, Larry's going?
He just wants to win everything. He just wants to win everyone. He wants to beat him in everything.
Well, he does. He beat us in everything this year.
Yeah, but Dave, his kids are unbelievable. Like the kids he has, the talent he has are like, we're talking like they have really good. Like they're talented.
My 10U, I lost quite a few kids from last year.
Yeah, you guys are all playing fucking for someone else.
Kids.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it doesn't matter. I just thought this
11 is pretty good because between even the kids I take, they're the good kids. I play them up to 11.
Dave, your 11s played our 13s and won a game.
I know they played that. Yeah, they played with the 13s.
Yeah, and that's why we lost the coach. Oh, you guys got this?
I wanted to tell him those 11s are good.
Haven't had the conversation.
And
yet
I had to say
with
to Troy,
Lauren.
when the kid, Troy didn't realize the kid was talking smack to him. He rolled up on him and he's like, he said something to him. I said, Troy, you better protect yourself. He didn't even, it didn't even register with him. He
Doesn't
just
even
ran his
register
route.
for it. Just doesn't know.
Didn't
Yeah.
even register. I said,
But I
"You
just-
better-" the others,
I
my-
just
my
thought-
assistants were all laughing. They were all laughing so hard.
I sent that to you last night. It was late when I saw it. I'm like, look at this, dude. Like, this is everything that's wrong with, and I said, this is why the 7-on-7 culture gets the bad rap, is because this is the type of shit that's being promoted. Did you see the video? Did you see the picture yesterday?
Like it, though.
No. There's no doubt. It's why that whole remember a couple years ago the one-on-one thing, traveling tour was like a big thing. Like,
yep. AJ Green.
Look, look, I get it, but I'm just saying, like, this is why. And did you see the picture yesterday of the coach that knocked out the ref at one of the 7-on-7s? There's a picture of a ref just laying like face down at a 7-on-7. Oh yeah, I don't know where it was or whatever.
See, that's the problem.
There's no doubt. Let me see if I can find it for you. Because I commented like, this is everything that's wrong with this world. It's literally a referee laying flat on his face. Here it is. Here, I'll send it to you right now. Send via chat, Dave. It's why it's just so bad, dude. It's so bad. Copy link. God damn it. I'll do it up here. But you're right. Kids will like it.
I'll be an objective on that part, meaning like
wait, I can win $10. I can win $10.
Absolutely. Like I'll put it like this. Thinking about myself or you, okay? If we didn't know anything, no better, we warped into this world and we were competitors like we were, my ass would have been out there. Come on, let's go. Like,
yep,
but next? I'm not saying it would have been good for me. It wouldn't have been good for me because I would do
I put it in the chat on the side.
Yeah. Oh, but I would do a lot of things that are not good for me. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, because we all made bad decisions because
when I was young, I did a lot of things that were not good for me.
No doubt, and especially if somebody challenged me.
I would have liked to compete in it because I would have been like, yeah, and I wasn't afraid of anybody.
No doubt, like we were never going to back down. We were always going to do it. Like, absolutely.
My parents.
He did it on the podcast. He did it on the podcast.
My parents probably would have been like, "Fuck no." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Oh, Tony said this on the podcast with our guys.
They would have had to draw the line. You know, you're talking about. Oh, sorry.
Is not worth it. No.
I'm trying. How do I copy what you said?
Can't you just click it? Can't you just click it? It's not a hyperlink
up there. No.
Oh, okay, hang on. I'll send.
Send it on the private chat. Private chat. There's a private chat on the bottom right. Private chat. Send it on there.
Yeah, I think I. Oh no, is that? Where is that?
I'll just say hi. Do you want it?
Oh, I see it.
Send it there. I think I clicked that. But yeah, you like. So I would say.
Oh yeah, you can click that.
There was a lot.
Oh,
there's
I didn't know
Tony that I love to do that were not good for me.
That were not smart, no doubt. Tony,
yeah,
I didn't know Tony said that. Tony said that shit, on the podcast with Dustin and those guys. We've had both of them on. You know that, right?
Oh, the strength thing?
The thing that he said that their show, like those two have both been on individually. Remember we talked to those guys a couple weeks ago?
Oh, God.
You see the picture? The ref's like face down.
What the hell? And then he wants to fight the other guy?
Yeah, I guess the other guy's probably running over there going, what are we doing?
That's crazy. Wherever John Daskell Stadium is.
You're right.
Let me see where that is. I'm just curious. Tony's thing is actually controversial because
Of course.
that's almost going back to how it used to be. Like saying like lifting doesn't really impact. I don't think that's the case. Oh wow. Okay. That was in North Carolina.
Go figure. Oh, bro.
I mean,
You ever feel like you're just constantly you're just fighting an uphill battle?
Do I feel like I'm constantly fighting an uphill battle? Yeah.
Sometimes
listen,
it's just like you're like, oh, we're making the whole thing.
I make mistakes. Listen, I'm telling you right now. I don't want to announce it yet, but I'm doing something different. I might do a couple that I like doing, and then I think I'm gonna put like kind of how I have my league set up for flag. Like I'm gonna do it like that, so it's a lot more. You're still gonna get what you want, you know what I'm saying? But
So
I just have to figure out how that would work. But
remember I was telling you about the remember I was telling you about the bait.
I don't want someone to have to win a championship in that game. Those two games. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I don't mind one or two tournaments where that's the case, but like, even for myself as a coach, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even think it's good for me. So, because it is intense. It is intense. Okay. When you go out there and you coach, it's different than when I coach flag because I coach flag. It's a lot more tighter windows, right? So things you call a missed throw, you miss a throw in flag, honestly, like it has zero impact because you can still run the ball. You know what I'm saying? I think the singularity isolation of what you can do makes it actually incredibly intense.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you have to you do have to like I've had to learn to do it. Check yourself a little bit because it's to me it's the singularity of what the actual thing is. Meaning, you know, you can only move the ball one way, right? And so which makes it incredibly good from a development standpoint. If you play it right and you play the game the right way, it's very good for receivers, DBs, QBs, coverage wise, route wise, timing. If you do things the right way, that is, it really can be very beneficial. But it's one of these double-edged sword things. I actually feel now it's a double-edged sword because of the singularity of the sport, meaning there is no running game. So what makes flag different and less, not that isn't as competitive, but less stressful to all the people involved is that you can run the ball, right? Because you could run the ball, you have to coach two sides to it, and it balances out the game. Just passing does create an unusual singularity stress on one player on offense, the quarterback. Also, then places some level of stress on the guy calling the plays and to be able to relate to that quarterback because everything happens based off of him. It's flag is not, even though the quarterback's the most important flag in every sport, but when you can run the ball, it shifts it to the running back. Some of that responsibility shifts to the running back, and when it shifts to the running back, I found just this is just my opinion. I could be people may disagree with me. I found in flag, and you know, I don't feel like flag is like you've heard me before. I don't think flag is the same sport as tackle. But what flag, the pro on flag is that when you shift that responsibility, everybody can play a little more relaxed. That's my only input. So,
and when you play more relaxed, Coach just talked about it, right? Like when you play more relaxed, like you just It's better.
Because if you're like, oh my God, my guy is struggling passing. There's nowhere to go in 7-on-7 if you're struggling. There's nowhere to go.
You're screwed. You're screwed.
You can't hand the ball off. There's no one to hand it off to and be like, okay, maybe my running back can make a play.
There's no safety.
You can't run a quick screenplay off of the run if they know you're going to pass, but you can in flag because you can run. You can run the RPO. You can run things that take pressures off the quarterback per se. So that is and by the way, you know how I am. I was never even a big flag person. I didn't really like flag that much, but I do see where there's a value in that. It could be an overall enjoyable experience for a lot of people.
Well,
and you coach girls flag, so you might agree. I don't know if you agree or not.
Yeah, I think there. Well, I mean, but I also think on the other side of it, there's going to be people that now want to walk away because they want that intensity, they want that high level like pressure situation. That's why they're doing it, right? In order to get that feel for a game,
you probably need both.
What I'm saying, like 100%, you need a little bit of everything, right? I don't think you want it to be like where a kid's stressing out and losing their mind over it, but I also think
every week,
you know, you know what I mean, like a consistent like hammer of like high stress is not good for anybody. Right. But at the same time, I think that's where
regular football, even though the quarterback's obviously the main guy, obviously your run game, you don't even have to throw a pass if you got a great run game. You know what I mean?
Never.
So he could be a manager and do a great job of doing that. Right. So, but yeah, I think you do need it all, which is one of the beauties of football, by the way, that's unique. It's the only sport that you could actually play the sport, but in a different environment and develop your skills in different ways. Very unique. But yeah, I think that I don't know what the answer is on 7-on-7 to get it less. What's the word? Less
intense,
crazy. Yeah, like I think we do a good job at our events of trying to dial it back.
Yeah,
and allowing them to compete at the same time.
But it still doesn't matter once once you get to those.
Yeah,
once you get to those tight games, once you get to those playoff games, bro, like
the playoff games, right? The round robin, you have very little issues for the most part. Right. It's when you get to the playoff games. It's when you get to
when it starts to matter.
It starts to matter. People really, really get,
Look, that's when you see the most issues.
Everybody's a competitor, and everybody comes out, and it starts to go crazy, right? So that's the part that's very I don't know what the answer is, I don't
know if there is one.
I don't know if there is one, which listen, AAU basketball has a similar issue, depending on where you play at. Some places are great, some places aren't. Baseball now has it. To an extent that these travel tournaments.
Yeah, because you're ranking 7-year-olds.
You're once you start to rank kids and people think that scholarships are aligned, like I wish college coaches would just flat out come out and say, dude, we're not recruiting a 6th grader. We're not recruiting a 7th grader. Like, even if we offer a 8th grader who is really good, it's really means nothing. But they won't say that. And why won't? If they said that, believe me, the world would be a lot. The environment would be less stressful for these kids. Trust me, it would be. And even more so the parents, right? Parents don't understand what everything means. They have no idea. The truth is, most of it means absolutely nothing, right? Other than your own competitiveness and the person having a good time and competing. But it has zero to do with college. Zero. So, but they're being told a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't even know if they're being told it. They're perceiving a lie,
Perceiving. That's a bit, yeah.
They're perceiving. No one. I don't even know if anyone's even telling them that. They're perceiving a lie, like, dude, it's I won't let my kid have an Instagram page for that reason. People are like, why? I'm like, if I want to post a picture of him, I'll post it. I'll post it on my page. You know what I'm saying? If I want to post him making a catch, I'll post it on my page.
Your wife will
want what?
Your wife will post it.
Yeah, she'll post it, but we control that.
Correct.
They're reaching out to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't think, even if the parent controls the page, they think they're reaching out to the kid. Even like when you invite a kid, the kid may not even be handling it, but it's a perception, right? So now parents get upset, even if they're like, if you're handling your own kid's page, you get upset because they're writing towards your kid. So
Right.
even though it's
but at the same
actually
time, for every
not
one of
your
those
kid.
every one of those that gets upset, there's also one that's like, yo, they're reaching out to my kid as a 6th grader. This is awesome.
Correct. No, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So exactly.
Whereas,
So
look,
if you
I also
whereas
have
if
to
you
now
just have
like,
your own
hey,
page,
you're a,
and you I was gonna say, when you have your own page and you post something on your kid, they know that it's the adult page. So if they reach out to you, Derek, and they say something, they know the adult sees that. The adult is handling that page. And there's a different approach when, you know what I'm saying? Not that people don't say shit, but like there's a different approach, right? I mean, me, I just delete the shit when someone writes something dumb, you know?
I just keep the invites to camps because I still get excited.
The invite to camp thing is the biggest bullshit in all of college sports.
Like I got a kid
Stop
yesterday,
making-
right? Like I got a kid who's gonna be a senior, right? He comes in and he got he filled out the questionnaire, right, for the school, Division II school, where we've sent guys before, right? But gets back the generic, hey, would love to see you at a junior day. Here's the dates with the poster. And the kid's like, oh, coach, yeah. I'm like, brother, everybody that filled out this questionnaire got this poster. Like, you are no different. I said I could do it right now and fill it out. And I'd get the same message. But it came from the head coach. I said it came from someone who it's not him, right? Maybe it is because it's Division II and I know the school, so it might be. But
It might be from him,
but I said,
not.
like, he doesn't know, bro. He don't know if you're good, bad, or anything. He just wants you up there. And now if you answer this and now you fill out the yes, I'm going to go, now he'll go and look, right? Like there's levels to this where guys are just trying to check you off the list, not put you on the list. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk about with the mega camps and all that kind of stuff. Like, give me a reason to not. He's like, well, should I go? I said, absolutely. You don't have anything else, right? Like I said, he's like, well, I'm like, buddy, you don't have anything. Like this is the first coach to even talk to you. I said, plus this gives you an idea of, oh, this is a junior day. This is what a visit is. Like you get the lay of the land. And now, but I don't know if I would even go to that school. I said, you don't know what school you really want to go to until you go and visit some of them. You know what I'm saying? Like this school is going to be very different than the one other school that reached out to you. And don't go off of, well, I talked to this kid. He went to the visit at this school and he said he hated it. It was in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. I said, the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. Yes. I said, but you might like that. You don't know until you get your boots on the ground. You can take into account what somebody else said, but that's not the end all be all, bro. Just because they didn't like it doesn't mean you're not going to like it. So you got to go.
I really wish college coaches would just get together and just say, hey, man,
let's make all of our lives easier. Like,
this is what it means if we do this. This is what it means. And like, listen, I think, you know what? Why not have the college coaches reach out directly to whoever they want? Stop limiting them, because then it just becomes a bunch of misinformation. Okay? If a coach, and you know what? Let them fucking give a written offer that has to be on letterhead from the college program, and let them hold them accountable to it. So if you give a guy an offer, you can't rescind it. You know what I mean? You offer this person, you can't rescind it unless they reject you. Let's see how many offers go out then. I bet you not many.
Hell no.
I bet you not many. Because they're not going to give it to any guy that they don't want there.
No doubt.
Okay? They're not going to give a verbal one to an 8th grader who is 5'10" in 8th grade and still 5'10" at 18. I mean, who all of a sudden is like, wait a minute, I had a Division I offer and shunned off like when they're really a D2 or D3 kid, shunned off everybody else, and it turns out they didn't grow again. You know,
we got a kid that used to play for us and now plays for another little organization, right? Who still hasn't signed and still hasn't committed and still waiting in the weeds for like, you know, his new 7-on-7 club, I guess, to get him his offer or whatever it is. Like, but he's still sitting there waiting, and he thought it was going to be all lined up and going to one school, and then all of a sudden it was, you know, hey, we need to see your first market period grades, or hey, now admissions has it, and you know, you're teetering on that line of I don't know, and here comes signing day, and you're not there.
Like, it doesn't work that way. There's no incentive for coaches to be honest with players. You know, why would I want to be honest if I don't know what they're going to be? Like, that's how a lot of these guys approach it. And then they don't care, and they just don't want the headache. They probably half of them don't want the headache. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to, you know, guy reaches out to me. I don't want to tell him I don't like him. I don't want to tell him that.
Right. I don't want to burn a bridge. I
don't want to burn a bridge. I'll say this to the end of time. The NFL was great. Those guys would just tell me
cut and dry. No, he's not this. Like, no.
He's not. I'm not interested. I was like, thank you. You made my day. They're like, why?
Because now I don't have to deal with it.
I don't have to waste time with you.
Yep.
I'm like, why would I want to waste time where you don't want him? I want to spend time where he actually has a chance.
Yep.
You know, and by the way, in the NFL, like those guys who bullshit people, the ones who bullshit,
they end up having, dude. They don't fucking want you. Yeah, they don't fucking want you.
They end up having a problem because you bullshit somebody. Like I call guys to the carpet. I called them up. I said, I need to talk to the GM. This fucking guy told me yes.
Right.
And he went back and told me no. And I didn't talk to another team because of that.
Right.
I want to talk to the GM. Those motherfuckers get on the phone, boy.
Real quick.
I said, I'm not, yeah. Because you know what happens? The next time you have a player they do want, you ain't going to send them to them. You know what I mean? And there isn't that many agents, you know? So, listen, why are certain organizations in the NFL struggle? Hey, I'd like to know what happens in a lot of these other things. If I know that an NFL team treats PFAs well, the best PFA is going to go to the best teams, and a couple of those guys are going to make it every year, and they end up being contributors and starters, and they help you win, okay? And if the other guy gets crappy PFAs because no one trusts him, those guys help you lose. So the NFL is very, very good from that standpoint. You know, like people could complain about other things. I get it. But from that standpoint, and I've been consistent on that from the get-go. Like, I like the word no. I like someone telling me not now. I like that because then I know not to waste time. You know what I mean? I know what a yes actually means something. When someone says yes to me, cool. Now I know, okay, because I don't get many yeses. Now I know I got to focus the majority of my efforts on this place because it's an opportunity for me. Because everything else is not. And, you know, I think that's a problem with college in general. I don't know if it's every sport, but I know football, obviously, it's an issue. You know, I don't know if it's that way in every sport. But
when I have coaches from Villanova that come to me and say, hey, look, he's just not fast enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because you know what? That probably tells me that he's not good enough for Holy Cross, that he's not good enough for whoever, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still going to reach out to those guys, but I already know I'm reaching out to them basically like what I'm reaching out to them in pencil.
Expecting a no.
I'm reaching out to them with a 25% chance that this guy might say, hey, and if he says, well, come to camp, I know it's a no. Because unless I have that product to be like, hey, if he thought a 4.6 was slow, then unless we really think you might be able to go up there and run a 4.5, I'm not fucking sending you up there, dude. Or, hey, I'm going to put it in your hands and say, look, this is all the information I have. If you think you can go up there, which they'll say yes, right? Like, I'm going to run a 4.5. Okay. But guess what? You better fucking run the 4.5. Because if you don't, you're going to have to like pick off every one-on-one. Or you got to make you know what I mean? You got to do something else. And even at that,
Tony's thing
it
is
still might not be
very valuable. Recording and in training, like if you're with a trainer and
you can prove it.
he's not recording every couple of weeks to get a
Right.
flying 10, to get a flying
Then it's
20, to
that's
get an
a
idea of where you
problem.
are. I'm not saying you got to run a 40, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you may not want to go burning out that level.
Southeast. Oh, Dave, Southeast Missouri State. Is that the one we said? That was the Twitter one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because now they're calling it a modified Oklahoma drill. Oh my God. There's 2,000 comments.
I'm telling you, he's going to get called. That guy's going to get called into the office.
Hell yeah, because he just created one of the most viral videos of the year, probably.
Negative videos. Athletic director is going to call him in.
Oh, and here's a good one.
And say, why did you do that drill, and why did you film it?
A 10-year analysis from 2012 to 2022 on ACL's tears. Turf, there was 265 tears. Grass, 255 tears. So there's no difference. Wide receivers face the highest risk. Receivers and tight ends are the most. Games, 2 times deadlier than practice. 67.7% of tears happen in games. 32% happened in practice. I'm going to post this. This is awesome. Early season danger zone. Preseason and before week 9, the most ACL tears came about. 132 happened during the preseason alone.
Yeah. See, that's crazy. What are we doing? If that's at all contact related, what are we doing?
It's a nice little study.
I was going to say,
really nice graphic. Nice graphic.
What was I going to say? That was interesting on that.
First flag game tonight.
Who do you guys have?
Manchester.
They good? Are they good? Is your cousin a coach or no?
No, he gave it up. 1-year wonder.
Oh, is one of his assistants at least a coach?
No. I think it's a female in the building.
Oh. That's interesting.
So, at least the weather's nice. But
yeah.
Hey, man.
I don't know if I sent you the Tony thing. I'm curious your thoughts on that when you look at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up to my guys too because I always like to get their feedback.
Like now, you know me. I'm obviously as big as they come speed advocate, right? But you can't tell me that lifting does not support speed
in some way, shape, or form. Like you can't be so cut and dry with it. You know what I mean?
There's been 0 studies, about this.
Right.
The ones on what he said, the study that did come out, I would call it an anecdotal study, but years ago there was a study that came out that hex bar deadlift correlated to your hex bar deadlifted correlated to your 40-yard dash time. So now, do slow, heavy squats make you faster? I would agree that probably doesn't. But if you were lifting with a speed component, or if you're doing a lift that mimics certain things, I mean, the gluteus maximus is the biggest muscle, and that's where you generate, force. Force comes from the lower limbs, because of the tendons. But you're still generating force from your muscles. You're not generating force from your muscles. Okay. So they are firing. He would have to really do a study I mean, that's a blanket statement. That's like, I'm sure he did it because he's trying to shock you.
He wants clicks.
Yeah, oh, there's no doubt.
Oh my God, now it's everywhere.
The SEMO?
The Prolific tournament is at Franklin High School. Oh my God.
Oh, no, that's a nice facility, Franklin.
Yeah, but it's all...
It's on the grass fields in the back there, not the, okay.
Yep, and it's going to rain all week, bro. It's going to be
You have to
crazy.
say, the Capelli was a nice place to run it. It worked out really well.
And that guy was happy with us.
He was?
When he was the guy that was talking to us, he came over. You were in the middle of a game or whatever, and he was just like, "Are you Dave?" And I'm like, "No," because I get that 4,000 times a day. "Are you Dave?" "No, I'm not Dave. He's 6'2". I'm 5'8". Fuck. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, fuck. Like, I wish I was fucking 6'2". I'll take 6 foot. But like, no, I'm not Dave. But you guys need anything? You good? You know, whatever. I'm like, no, dude, it was great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really appreciate your people going around and emptying the garbage cans on the regular, because like there wasn't that much to clean. It was the best tournament we've ever had, ever, hands down, where there wasn't shit everywhere. I'm serious. And their guys didn't like pick shit up like they did at DE Turf a couple years ago. Like they literally just cleaned up garbage cans. And I think there was 2 reasons. The field I was on, I pushed the field so that there was more room on the near side. I put it to the far yellow so that
nobody came on the other side.
No, like only teams, like actual players for pretty much their game, went to the other side. Some teams adopted that little corner because they were on field 6 and then came to field 5 and they just walked across where the dirt was,
right,
which I thought was great too. That was also a little spot where guys could like, okay, guys, let's line it up. Let's do a little of this or whatever, warm up, whatever. That was really good too.
That was
so actually those 2, like having that spot was excellent because there was that little separation. Now, look, I don't know what Dave dealt with on the other field because I wasn't even over there at all. But at least there, and they opened up the concessions by us. They were smart.
Oh, they did.
Oh, they did. They had a limited selection. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but they were smart. Fuck yeah, that was smart. Because I was telling people, hey, there's bathrooms here, but there's concessions inside if you go across, and there's more bathrooms in there or whatever. So I know people were kind of going back and forth. You know, only one of our parents.
I saw people walking back.
Only one of our guys was like, well, there's no parking by field 6. I'm like, bro, park across the fucking street. I don't know, like. There's no parking up there, right? No, dude, there's not. There's a circle. Like, fuck, I can't, dude. Like, only our people. But no, they were really good. And the check-in people, the one guy was the same. So those 2 guys, they were, and I told the one guy, I said, buddy, you've now done this twice. You see what it is. He's like, dude, I'll do every one of these. And he's like, and the other guy that was with him, the kid played high school sports and like got it. And like, I either whatever, he knew sports. So he was like, oh bro, like this is awesome. Like, this is actually like I have, like, this is like fun. He's like signing up for something like this.
And you could just chill.
And that's what I said. And like, you know, cause I say to him like, hey, there's going to be like a rush, but then there's going to be a lull, and there's going to be a rush, and then there's going to be a lull. And as long as you just literally take care of business, you're not going to get any shit. And then once you do it a couple times, you'll start to figure out like, all right, this guy's trying to bullshit. This guy's whatever. Like, just hold steady fast this line and take care of it. And there'll be no issues whatsoever. And there wasn't. Like, that was probably the least tournament too, where people were like, well, what the fuck? This guy's 12 and he's playing 10 and da, 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 da. Like, dude, shut up. Go over there. Like, leave me alone.
Absolutely. And you know what else is nice about
it? Just flowed well.
It's right off of the Parkway.
That's what I'm saying. It's very easy. You can see it from the Parkway. And that's what I said to people. I'm like, even the people that won it, right, for DA 7v7, because they were like 2 hours away. Like, they were like, hey, like, this was an easy 2 hours for us to whatever.
Yeah, you highway the whole way. You get there and you're like, wow, this is great.
And to get back, like, hey, if you go this way, you can go grab a quick bite at a Wawa, or like there's some fast food joints right here. Now you can get right back on the parkway and get out, like, and be gone. Like, you know what I mean? And people were like, oh, because we have some referees that try to speed things up for absolutely no reason, because it is what it is. And the guy's like, my kids are getting food. Like, we didn't have a game for an hour. They left to go get food. And now you're going to like penalize me for that? Like, it's like, so I got on the phone and it was like, bro, what are you doing? And I know. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. I'm like, you're just saying nothing. Like, go take a piss and take a breath and then
get yourself
like shut up. Yeah, like
agreed.
I like the guys that we had. Preston holds his own and gets emotional, but the older guys on that field that you had for a couple games when you did the 11s and the 13s, I like those guys. Those guys are good. Even the guy on the side, not the old guy that yells with the raspy voice, but the other one, he's done a bunch of these now, and he's like, dude, these are the best. Like, I'll do these every single time. Because our other boys in the dog.
I told the old guy, because I told you he was what he
said.
Yeah,
he said so to Troy, right? Yeah.
I told he was very appreciative.
Because he knew because when it happened, he came up to me and was like, "That's his kid, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." Like, this isn't just happening randomly. And he's like, "Okay." I didn't, and he's like, "I don't want to overstep." You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to overstep.
No.
But I was like, no, dude. Like, that is his kid. You know what I'm saying?
I recognize, like, even when I'm, in my crazy zone, I recognize when someone does something that's really nice. Like, I always feel that the people that do those things it's great. You should do that. Like, because it gives kids an understanding that it balances everything. It balances, and when you see it in regular football, a coach gets on a player, another guy goes over to him, right? Like, those things are so important in sports, because you may not end up talking to the person till after the game, but someone talks to them in game. I think those things are important. Like, I recognize those things. I recognize that I can get crazy, but it's really good. And I actually told him we're actually going to have we're actually switching how we're doing things with our 10U. I'm actually going to have, you don't know the guy, but you know him because you see him all the time, but one of my guys, they're going to call it and I'm just going to do corrections because
do that. Be the
I really, it's easier. Now the 11U is different because they're usually second. By then we've played so many games and we're in a flow, but it's really the first few games because we're not in a flow. And a lot of times even though you warm up, like, they're playing around with each other, you know what I mean? So they're still kids. So I said, we should have you do it because he knows everything really well. He's a good play caller, and I could just help them with reads. That will be better because if I can help them with reads, I can focus on really what's most important versus trying to make sure this guy lines up right. Then all of a sudden, they don't run this, and it's like 5 things end up happening bad from one thing because a kid's confused. Whereas I can actually do more. I can line them up better. So when he calls it, I can go and whatever he calls, I can go and line them up. Because I will do that, you know what I mean? I will do that. Whereas most of my other guys, like, they'll maybe tell me another play to call, but they're not going to line the guys up. So I know the offense. If he calls it, I can then just focus on reads and lining them up, and they'll play better. That's what I think. Because really, the truth is, the play call, I hate to say this, all the play calls should work in 7-on-7, okay? It really should. You're not designing anything that's not going to work. It's really, are they able to execute what the play call is? That's really what it is, because it's all man to man. So you're probably going to get somebody open. It's just whether the guys can figure it out. They can make the reads. Do they throw the ball well? But it can get crazy when you really do need someone with younger kids to line them up and
Yeah.
explain reads. And
100%.
it doesn't matter. The play call is important, but as long as he knows what he's doing, it really that's the most important thing is they know he can call it and you have someone that lines them up. And I realize this now after doing this all these years. I'm like, that's what we really need is another person. Now the 11U is a little different because those kids are a little older. And I notice when the young guys come to them, the older guys kind of stabilize them. So they're stable. And they, for some reason, even though it's mostly Brick and Middletown kids, I don't know why those kids get along great together. They get along great. So it's just really basically two towns, but the 10 and 11 get along great. Those kids have become great friends. I actually said, do you have any other guys that are like your friend? Because we could use one or two more that you guys are friends with and Brick that you play with, maybe a Brick Elite, because you guys all seem to get along. They get along with the Middletown kids really well. So
yeah, well, they mix up. I've always said to you that Middletown and Brick are very similar in that, like, the type of kid, the type of persons, people, parents. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
they don't get along with the fucking Homedale people. Like, no offense to anybody that's at Homedale or whatever. It's just the Rumson people. Like, those people are very different. You know what I mean? Like, look, it's like, you know, think about it. What town didn't Saddlebrook get along with?
Glenrock.
There you go. You know what I mean? Like, Butler didn't get along with, I don't know, because we're just like the fucking idiots who punch everybody in the face. So we didn't get along with anybody really. But like Butler and Pequannock, not the same shit. You know what I mean? You're dealing with different types of people. You're different. Sure, shit, not dealing with Franklin Lakes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. No, it's very.
Think about when you were at Indian Hills, like Oakland and Ramapo.
Does not get along with
right. A lot of people.
And then I'll get along with Wyckoff. So
yeah.
No, it's very true. And yes, unfortunately, it affected who I would get to come to Indian Hills, which really was frustrating. And I'm sure what's his name deals with it now, and is probably frustrated in a similar fashion.
Yeah, Morangi. I'm sure Morangi does it. Does definitely deal.
But he's kind of calm now. He's calm.
Oh, he's a totally different human.
Yeah. He's not stressed. So it probably doesn't.
No, because he's got his life job now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not overtly bothering him. It's not going to bother him.
And remember the expectation. And I mean, I don't want to say standard because obviously, he wants to raise it and do great and do all those other things, but they're always not going to be Ramapo.
No, when I was there, the pressure on me was my pressure.
You did it, like you did it to yourself. Yeah. 100%.
I was driven to get them better. There was really not a huge amount of self-imposed pressure. You know what I mean? School-related pressure, or it was really self-imposed. Like we could be better.
Right.
So that's just kind of how my personality is. Like, you could put me in Tiddlywinks and I would put some sort of self-imposed pressure on myself. Like that's
who we are.
I've over the years I've tried to figure out how to dial that part back, and I succeed for a little bit, and then I don't know. I've always had to figure out like what can I deal with myself, because my self-imposed pressure is what it is. That's my personality, and it's like my mind for some reason just doesn't go there. Like there are people whose mind, and I admire them on this, but it's not my mind. There are people whose mind could go, even guys who are like good coaches, like when they're off. Like they could be off. It's hard for me to be off. I just want to like, the most off I am is after a tournament because I'm so tired. Like the next day I'm very tired, so I'm completely shut off mentally. But like, most of the other times I can't shut off. So it's just your own personality. You got to deal with it. Like everybody has their own things, and it's very hard for me. It's very hard for me to shut up. I'm always thinking about like, even my own like working out. Like what am I benching now? Like, it doesn't even matter what I bench, Derek. but
No,
I'm
but that's
calculating
who
in
we
my
are.
head.
That's who we are. All right, buddy.
All right,
I'm
man.
gonna,
Have a great day.
I will talk to you. I'll talk to you later. We're off this weekend.
Text
right?
me
We
your
have
thoughts on
nothing.
what Tony wrote. Tony said. I'm curious. Text me what you
Tony's-
thought when you watch it. I'm curious.
Tony's shot. He's shot.
Dude, well,
I want to know what Dustin and damn it, I'm forgetting the other guy's name.
who is he on with? Who
It
was
was
that
the two
with?
guys that we had on. Like we've had both of them on. Dustin was the AD, right? Remember these guys worked together.
Oh, it was those guys. Yeah.
From the Speak podcast down in South Carolina. I'll get it right now. Where is it?
Yeah, I'm curious
It's
their
not
thoughts.
Dustin Adkins. That was not him.
And they were pretty big into lifting, those guys,
Yeah, program was important.
as I remember.
Yes,
Even though they were
program was
speed
big.
guys, they were
Jamie,
big into
was it Dustin Martin and Jamie Bolton, I believe.
Yeah, they had great weight room programs.
Yeah.
I am curious their thoughts.
I'm gonna oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna get that. And I'm also I told you I'm gonna get Dylan Martinez, I think. I'm gonna get him to
Monthly?
come back. Yeah, and be like a monthly, just because I kind of like how he geeks out on it. You know what I'm saying? It
I
has
love
all this, has all the fucking like this study. I love it. It's like citing your
actually, we could ask him that. He could probably tell us if
he likes citing
thinks
his sources. Oh, because he's probably read some study that somebody did, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's always nice to have like those perspectives. But all right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. I'll tell you
Thanks,
later.
buddy.
All right.
See ya.
Yep.